Wrestling fans around the corner, around the world, I'm Dan Mirade.
I'm MJ in the house.
It's Marty's favorite time of the week, Saturday night, 10 p.m. It's Wrestling Insider's Week in Review. Stand by.
That's the good.
Boston wrestling sports and the MWF explodes into a new year of unknown with professional wrestling content galore, and we need you to join our family. Every Tuesday night at 10 p.m. after we review the previous night's Monday Night Raw, it's Wrestling Insiders at your house with the unpredictable WWE Hall of Famer, Mr. USA, Tony Atlas. Wednesday nights after WWE, NXT, and AEW at 10 p.m., you never know who's going to show up on Wrestling Insiders Special Edition. Every Thursday night at 10 p.m. after our NXT and Dynamite review, it's Marty Jannetty's No Holds Barred Sex, Drugs, and Rock and Roll journey through the 80s and 90s on Wrestling Insiders Party with Marty. Friday nights after the lights go down at the Thunderdome on SmackDown, it's John Cena Sr.'s Wrestling Insiders Fabulous Fridays. Plus, look for classic clips, bonus live episodes, pay-per-view watch-alongs, and more. If you want early, ad-free access to all of our Wrestling Insider talk shows, our acclaimed studio shoot interview DVD library, and to help keep wrestling legends working during the worst of times, for less than a cup of coffee at Starbucks, join our growing family at patreon.com/Boston Wrestling. Expect the unexpected in 2021.
This is Mick Foley.
This is Harley Race.
This is Shelton Benjamin.
This is Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff.
This is the Monster Abyss.
And this is Daniel Bryan.
This is JBL, and you're watching the MWF.
Be there live.
All right, wrestling fans, welcome to Wrestling Insiders Week in Review. Sometimes I sit by my lonesome at my little podcast desk that I have now to introduce these shows. Sometimes I have special guests. I'm very happy this week to have with me the man that hasn't stopped rocking since he came out of the womb, Mr. Marty Jannetty.
How did you know about that?
The doctor
I told you right when I was born. I slapped the doctor, took a cab to the club, and then partying ever since.
As most of you great folks know, Marty is with us every single Thursday night at 10 p.m. to talk about his no holds barred sex, drugs, and rock and roll journey through the 80s and 90s.
We tell them everything?
Just ask Andy, yeah. On this episode, we realize it's a lot for you to dedicate 4 nights a week at 10 p.m. to join us for the premiere of the shows and join our little chats with all the great folks that stop by, like Slick Rick B in Maine, Maria Davis out in Pittsburgh, our good friend Tania or Tina, or she has many aliases.
Tania. Oh, does she?
I don't know if I trust her.
Stop being sneaky, girl.
I don't know if I trust her. We got our friend Vaughn.
No, she's pretty good, though.
We got J.A. Will. We got so many different Kevins. It's crazy, and I don't want to leave everybody out. We got our new friend.
Kara and Miranda.
Who?
Kara and, you mean who? You talk to them? Kara and Miranda.
Do they go by those names in the chat? Because sometimes they have usernames.
Miranda is sneaky.
I don't know. We got Lisa. I know we got our new friend Joey. We got our new friend Brandon. What's that now?
Lisa.
Lisa?
Yeah, is that what you said?
I don't know. Usually you can't hear an R from someone from Boston. But you know what? Anyway, it's a lot. But we have a lot of fun on all of our original programs. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday at 10 p.m.
Oh, damn.
But here on Saturday night, we try and give the fans almost like old primetime wrestling, almost like old Saturday night's main event. This is Saturday night's main event, only we don't have any wrestling. We just have the memories in the legends. We give everybody...
That's pretty much what we're left with, memories. Damn it.
We give everybody each show from the week, and we kick it off this week with your longtime close personal friend, Mr. USA Tony Atlas's Wrestling Insiders at your house.
I love Tony. I wish he wouldn't think I was a racist, but I still love him.
All right, all right.
That's a pretty serious charge, though.
It sure is.
All right, I still love you, Tony.
We'll talk more about that after we hear from the Hall of Famer himself. Stand by. Wrestling fans, I'm Dan Mirade along with Tony Atlas. Tony, a pleasure to have you with us here tonight.
Thank you there, Mr. Dan. It's a pleasure always to be here with Boston Wrestling,
as
the #1 broadcast wrestling show on the internet and soon in the whole world.
Unbelievable. The soon-to-be Wrestling Hall of Fame
And I got
inductee
boobies, my
in
boobies
May. Hopefully, we'll
moving.
be going down to Texas.
Moving my boobies.
Well,
I'm moving my boobies.
As the
Boom,
fans
boom,
always
boom.
want to know, Tony, how is the lovely, the radiant Monica White?
Well, like with most people that is hospitalized right now, life is not good because they can have no visitors. Imagine being in penitentiary and you're not allowed to leave your room, you're not allowed to leave your jail cell. Right now, if you was incarcerated in your local penitentiary, you would have more freedom than my wife got right now because she cannot interact with other people. She's locked down in her room, and I want to tell people out there, if you got loved ones, mom, sisters, brother, anybody that is hospitalized right now, try not to call them once a week or once a month because they got no visitation. If you can, call them every day. There is people right now that my wife tells me that refuse to eat. They're on hunger strike because they're so lonely and they feel so neglected. So if you got a mom or anybody in a nursing home or in long-term care, try to find the effort. 5 minutes a day, 5 minutes phone call a day will do these people wonder. You want to do something, really show your love for your loved one that is right now hospitalized in nursing home, call more than just once a week. I talked to a lady the other day, she said, well, I'll talk to my mom, you know, on the computer there once every week. Well, 6 days, this woman is sitting around with no one to talk to, no one to show any love or any compassion to. So you got loved ones in nursing home, this is not the time for you to neglect them. They're not going to be here long, so you're going to regret every
And you'll
day
regret, you know what?
You're going to regret it. You're going to regret it.
When people pass like that, I coulda, woulda, shoulda.
Everybody started running. I should have done this. I should have done that. Forget about what you don't want to be one of them. I should have people.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, on to the world of professional wrestling. But I say this: I hope Monica knows how much the fans actually have an interest in care. Hopefully you've told her.
That's one thing that I really appreciate about the fans, just about every segment or just about every email or whatever I get, somebody would ask that question, how's your wife doing? And I owe Monica my life. I would have died 31 years ago if it wasn't for Monica. I owe that woman my life. I would have been dead if it wasn't for Monica. And I spoke about it in 2006 in Chicago at the Hall of Fame.
Yep.
I praise her for saving me. I would have been dead. Y'all been talking about the late Tony Atlas that died 30 years ago, and what would have came with Tony if he had lived? That would the conversation be about me now. What if Tony Atlas had lived? Well, I did live, you know, thanks to Monica. So everything I ever did in the last 30 years, I owe to Monica. Everything I did in the last 30 years of my life, I owe to my wife, Monica. And she's still an inspiration to me now, even though she's hospitalized with a stroke. She's still a great, great influence in my life right now. I can't go a day without talking. I call my wife anywhere between 3 to 4 times a day.
Well, I can't wait for her to be able to get out of that hospital so we can meet her in person.
It drives me nuts that I can't hug her and kiss her and love her and give her the love and attention.
I hope she knows that even though these fans have never met her, just from the stories you tell from your heart, have touched a lot of fans at home. And we're all rooting for her. We want her to get better. We want her to be home at Atlas Estates on Millionaire Boulevard up in Auburn.
Trying to get her some home care now.
Yeah.
Some home care.
Do you think it's going to happen soon?
Well, I think it would have happened this year if it wasn't for the coronavirus. But the coronavirus just set everything back. Not just in my life. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that have so many plans. I know you have.
Look at our live events.
Live
how
events.
we were destroyed.
So everybody now is in a terrible, terrible setback. But now we got new leadership, and I just hope and pray that the new leadership in this country put more emphasis in fighting this virus than the old administration did. Because the old administration, they just wiped their hands of it. Leave it to the governors. What a freaking...
I know you're not a fan of that statement.
Not that, because You got to stop and think. We got 50 states. We got 50 governors, which means
50 different opinions.
Exactly.
All right.
How in the hell that going to work?
All right. Well, again, we send Monica our best. I look forward to the day I can make that trip up 95 North to Maine to make the visit to Atlas Estates and be able to meet this lady in person. Maybe give her some chocolates or flowers or something like that, and see all the good that you've described over the years about her.
And Dan is very special. Y'all don't know this, but I live in an all-white neighborhood, and Dan is the first white guy to come to my house.
What?
You are.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh. What about Gallants?
And I live in an all-white neighborhood.
What about Gallants?
Well, I tell you, I got invited the other day, Dan.
Where?
To a person's house.
Yeah.
They invited me well, it was a while back. They invited me over for Thanksgiving.
Oh, really?
Yeah, this year. I got, because, you know, my wife.
They knew you were alone.
Well, they knew I was all alone, so some of my nice neighbors, they said, Tony, you don't have to eat Thanksgiving alone. That's how nice Mainers are. They said, Tony, you could come and you could have, and this is a true story now, said you could come and have Thanksgiving dinner with us if
Free
you like.
meal?
Yeah, I said, oh, sure, thank you, I really appreciate it. I didn't want to hurt their feelings, so I took them up on the invitation. As I walked through the door, I looked around, and I told them, I knew the husband. I didn't know the wife that well, and I didn't know the kids that well, but I knew the husband. And I said, brother, I really want to thank you for inviting me over for Thanksgiving dinner. Do you realize this is the first time that I've been into white people's homes while they were staying at home? I did that. I did. I did the first time I went to white people's houses while they were staying at home. The grandma watched me the whole time I was there. When I finished my meal, the grandmother come over and took my silverware. Oh, I take that for you. You don't have to do that. I take that for you. The husband, me and him, we good friends.
Do they live on your street?
No, they don't.
Oh,
they
okay.
live in the next town over, a town called Manor. They live out in the countryside. Beautiful home out in the country. But you know, most all the blacks in my area, they live in the downtown area.
Well, I got to know Auburn a little bit with all our trips up there this summer.
I live in town more, but they live like out.
I got you.
Out,
yeah, and you know what? Sometimes on our trips out, it is kind of a...
Yeah, when you get out, you see it getting...
Yeah.
Once you get
rural.
outside of town, they're kind of like houses, you know, a half a mile apart.
Yeah.
But it was so funny. Now, the husband knew me. The wife didn't that well. So the wife was trying to carry on conversation so she could follow me. The kids started laughing because they figured I was joking. The husband was holding
like
back his
Jackie,
laughter,
yeah.
you know, so he could continue to joke. But the grandmother was so nervous. I went to use the bathroom, and when I opened the bathroom door, the grandma came in right behind me and started looking around the bathroom.
Really?
Yeah, because I told her that.
Would you let her walk on you?
No.
What about the wife?
These are nice people.
What about the wife?
No, I don't fool with nobody's wife.
Well, what if he gave permission for her to walk on you?
I don't care.
I tell you this.
No.
Technical director today.
Atlas do not fool in any kind of way with nobody's wife.
Our technical director.
There's too many single women out here to mess with somebody's wife on for anything. If that man was not home,
yeah,
and that woman invite me over,
yeah,
I ain't going.
You wouldn't go in.
I said, well, when your husband gonna be? Oh, it's okay. He said you can visit. I don't care what he said. I'm not going. I never went to this woman's house unless he were at home. My mother did
Better
not
safe
raise,
than sorry.
Well, it's respectable too.
Yeah.
My mother didn't raise no food. Something happened. This man get jealous or hear some rumors or something get around. All of a sudden, our friendship, me and this man got a 20-year relationship. And I'm not going to lose a 20-year friend over his wife.
Well, I tell you, our technical director, Jackie, saw your part of your foot video for the first time today, and he was taken aback. He was amazed at your honesty in describing your fetish for women's shoes and being walked and stepped on and kicked. So, you know, your honesty...
See, you can't broad brush everything.
Yeah.
And that's what we got a bad habit of doing.
Yeah.
Like, I listen to Democrats, when a Democrat do something, they say, well, they all do that. And I listen to Republican. When a Republican do something, instead of sticking to that, they say, well, they all do that. Well, what you doing? You broad-brushing every politician in the world as being the same, when it's not. If they all was like that, this country would be doing as good as it's doing. If we had all that dishonesty. They got country that got that.
Yeah.
This ain't one of them. And all the people that believe that is people that never, most of the people that believe that is people that never left their hometown. You understand what I'm saying? They kind of backward thinking people that never been nowhere, but we got the greatest country in the world, and you can't broad-breast everything.
Right.
I used to get broad-breasted stereotype a lot because for being black. I would one time I went with Mario Savoni. You would like this story. I'm trying to make it quick. I went with Mario Savoni, and he used to do a town up, and you probably remember Cutchers.
Oh, in New York.
New
York.
Up in that area.
Cutchers, yeah.
Yeah, Cutchers.
It's a resort.
Resort, yeah, old Cutchers Resort. So we were there one time, and so Mario somehow got the police department involved. And it was, they're going to play a basketball game. The wrestler, Tony Rumble, was there. It would be the wrestlers against the police department basketball team. It was a fundraiser. The police chief went to Tony Rumble and said, you know this is unfair. And Tony said, in what way? Well, y'all got a black guy. And Tony said, well, don't you have a black cop? He said, no, we don't have a black cop that plays on our team. He said, well, it's not my fault that Tony black. He said, why, you want them to set out the game or something? He said, well, because I'm black.
Did you know that Tony Rumble played college basketball?
Yeah, I knew
that.
Okay. Yeah, Tony told me.
He was very good.
He was. So he would say, well, let's just play the game. I said, well, let's just play the game. But they was nervous because they had a black basketball player. So the whistle blow. They give me the ball. I couldn't dribble. I couldn't shoot. Everybody on that court knew how to play basketball but me.
You never played hoops?
Not a day in my life.
And they were worried.
I played basketball one time my whole life, and that was the one time I played.
Really?
That was the only time I ever played basketball any day in my life was with Tony Rumble and them in Cutchers, and everybody was just shocked. And then one guy came up to me and said, you playing, right? I said, no. He said, you're not joking around? I said, no, I don't play basketball. He said, yo, you got to play basketball. You black. That's what he think. He's never been around black people. A lot of people, when people used to ride with me a lot, with my wrestling days, I would stick a Johnny Cash tape in there. They say, you listen to this, Tony? And I go, yes, I like country music. But they figure because I'm black, I should be listening to
R&B or something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, all right, let's get into some of the topics.
We call that broad brushing. Is that what they call it?
Yeah.
They take a brush and just paint everybody the same. Well, everybody is individual.
Everybody's different.
I'll say this now.
That's a perfect segue to the opening segment.
Everybody's different. You know, since the beginning of time, there have been trillions of people that have walked this earth. Billions and trillions of people that have walked this earth since the beginning of time. Yeah. Not one person since the beginning of time had the same fingerprint or DNA. So how can we all be the same?
Right.
There have not been one person born. That's why the policeman could use your DNA to track to you. That's why they use your fingerprint.
Right.
Because it's only one. This fingerprint is only one, and there would never be another one. There was none before this one, and there'd be none after this one. And that's since the beginning of mankind. And to go with your DNA. So we all are different.
All right, Tony, let's talk a little bit about that. I know several fans emailed us about the passing of the natural Butch Reed on Friday. We actually did a special episode Saturday night. If you want to check that out in the archives, again, our best wishes to the Reed family, his friends, his fans. But Tony, very interesting story that came to light over the past few days. Tyler Rex, who was part of WWE when you were with the company. I don't know if you heard about what happened to Tyler recently, or what happened with Tyler. recently?
The last I know about Tyler, he was on that show with the Gumphrey show, Greg Gumphrey.
Yeah.
He would work for Fox News.
Well, Tyler Rex actually underwent a sex change operation and came out as a transgender. He is now,
Stop!
He's now female.
Stop!
I'm not lying.
Come on now.
I'm not. What do you think? You think I'm making this up?
He looked like She-Kong.
Now he goes by Gabby Tough.
Stop it now. That's a joke.
No, I'm not making it
I
up.
just saw him on TV with the big beard and stuff on the Greg Gumphrey show on Fox News.
No, you're talking. That's Brodus Clay.
Oh, bro,
Tyler-
Tyler.
Tyler Rex was more like a beach type guy. He had the long black hair and was really good shape. I think he was part of ECW
I have to see
when
a
you were
picture
there.
of him to know who you're talking about.
Well, I tell you, Tony.
But they just called the big guy Rex at one time, right?
No, but they called him a brontosaurus, I think.
Brontosaurus,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
That's what I thought you were talking about.
Could you imagine that?
No, I could not. No. 6'6", 350 pounds. What do you call it? It was She-Hulk. He'd be She-Kong.
Well,
like
yeah.
King Kong, he'd be She-Kong. This big brute.
Well, I'm glad you're getting such a laugh out of it.
You just messed my whole night up there. Now a picture of Tyler Rex, what his name? Brodus Clay in drag. That's his fucking.
No, you got the wrong guy.
I didn't know. What did Tyler Rex look like?
He had kind of like braided, long black hair and.
A kind of mulatto looking kid.
Yeah.
Tall.
Yeah. And he underwent a sex change operation. And I believe he's the first professional wrestler to do so that I know of. It's
I would have never.
Very interesting story.
It's damn sure. I used to travel with that guy. I never dawned on me. So he's gay.
I don't know. You know,
I never would have pictured him.
the transgender world is kind of different. It's kind of unique. I know.
He's real muscular and everything.
Oh, yeah,
yes. Big kid, about 6'4".
Here at the studio,
I
don't know if I should say that, but here at the studio we have someone that is around sometimes that's transgender, and they went through the change midlife, and they're still with their wife and kids. So, I mean, I don't know if that necessarily means gay, but he felt like he was a woman, and now he is she.
Wow.
He's Gabby. And I have not heard of any other wrestler going through that change.
Is Vince using them? Or?
Oh, no, he's long gone from Vince.
Yeah, because he was back in 2008, 2009 with me.
Yeah, exactly.
Tyler Rex.
What a unique story it would be if he was still under contract to WWE.
Wow,
You think they could take advantage of that?
But he don't look the type.
Well, I mean, how do you know what's in someone's brain?
Well, I know what's in my brain, you know.
Not much.
No, you're right. So I don't. Well, you know, sometimes it's good not to have too much in your brain because you got less to worry about.
I wonder if it made him feel uncomfortable being around guys in the locker room like that.
Whoa.
And you know what? There's several ways. I almost wish Dr. David Reese was here. You could look at it as, geez, maybe he was horribly uncomfortable being around guys like that.
You should get him to.
Or maybe he was or she was in a situation where
a phone conversation with him and get his side of it.
It was like a buffet with all the guys walking around naked. If she is gay, I don't know if she's gay or not.
That's what you just said. Some people just feel more comfortable cross-dressing, but have no desire to be with a man. They just.
But for her to go through the process of actually having the sex change operation, that's a major life event.
Well, he's a big kid too. He's about 6'4".
You got to go by she now. But I mean, have you ever heard of any transgender wrestlers that are kind of done a closeted, or because I don't know of any.
I don't even know any transgender people.
I know some transgender people.
That had that changed over.
Well, it's just one of the more unique stories in professional wrestling.
Well, I had one experience with some transgender one time.
What happened? Let's hear this.
We was in underground Atlanta,
Oh, here, Underground. Oh, boy, I love this one. Keep going.
Did you hear about this?
Yep.
The Underground Atlanta.
Tina Turner was ready to have you take out Ike Turner at the nightclub.
Yep, she wanted to talk to me. And my buddy Fred said, oh, don't wait for her. You go, come on and go with me. I got 2 hot chicks just ready to go. So I said, yeah. I said, ain't nothing going to happen with me and this woman anyway. She just want to talk to me. I said, but these ladies, they're going to give it up. You know, they ready. Freddie said they're ready. They're ready to do it. They're ready to give it up. I said, all good. I said, at least I don't have to stay up all night trying to talk myself into somebody's bed. I said, these girls are willing. So my buddy went and got the car and pulled it around the front. And the girls were already sitting in the back seat. I got in the passenger seat, the front seat. We get to the hotel, the Passport Inn in Jonesboro, Georgia, which is maybe about 15 or 20 mile drive outside of Atlanta. So I've been drinking beer all night, so immediately I had to go use the bathroom. Well, I'm in the bathroom, I hear this deep voice saying this, I thought you knew. And Fred is hollering, Tony, help, Tony, help, help, help. So I peeked through the bathroom, I'm still urinating, you know, trying not to pee on the floor.
Yeah.
But I had to peek
That's
around
usually
the
a
corner.
good thing.
Yeah, I peeked around the corner so I could see what he was talking about. Well, then I saw it. They had breasts like a woman, face like a woman, everything like a woman, except that the toolbox was the same as my toolbox. So one was trying to hold Fred, and the other one was trying to ram him, and the one that tried to ram him go, oh, so you like to get rough. You like it rough a little bit, did you, Fred? Tony, help me. Tony, help me. And so I come out the door, and they go, oh, because I had my shirt off. They go, oh. And I said, look, I don't want to kick your asses. I said, but y'all fool her. I said, here's $20 a piece. Here's $20 a piece. Why don't y'all go to the front desk and
Why did you give them $20?
to catch a cab.
Oh.
I wasn't going to take them back. After I found out, you know, after that, I called.
Oh.
Yeah, because I was horny. I wanted to do something. I found out these 2 guys, and one was bigger than me, you know, between the legs. So, you know,
how do you know? They just whipped them out?
Yeah.
So whoa.
Yeah,
Whoa. I gotta get. I don't even need the script at this point. Jackie,
because they pulled their pants
now what
off.
year is this? This is the 70s.
Around 78, 79.
And
I'm not going to call my friend name, but every Christmas I call him up, and I said this to him, I thought you knew. He go, F you, Tony, F you, F you.
You were at a nightclub where Tina Turner was performing.
Well,
and Tina Turner kind of came on to you, if I recall.
Well, I don't know. It was she just wanted to get to know me. I don't think it was.
I think she wanted to get to know you, all right.
Yeah, well, what happened? All the fans ran around me, and then she wanted to know what I did. I told her I was a wrestler, and then my buddy Fred came up at that time. Before I hadn't even sat at my table at all because what we do in the older days, we would drink our alcohol before we get to the club, because you get a 6-pack of beer, you know, back then for like $3. Well, when you get to the club, they want $6 for one beer.
And you already got a buzz.
Yeah, so I get myself a little buzz, and then what I do, when I get to the club, I would order me a screwdriver.
Oh, I love screwdrivers.
Yeah, I take a screwdriver, and I sit there and sip on my screwdriver. Well, I just order my screwdriver, have one sip, when Fred come running up.
So you were at this club where Tina Turner was performing.
Yeah,
you're with your friend
Atlanta,
Fred.
Yeah.
And he met these 2 what he thought were women.
Thought they was women.
Hot women.
There wasn't women.
And you went back to the hotel.
I found out there wasn't.
You had to go to the bathroom and you started to urinate, not wanting to hit the floor apparently.
Yeah.
And then what happened with Fred? I mean, they just started to get undressed.
I saw Fred out of the corner of my eye pulling his clothes off before we got in the door.
Oh, really?
Fred was ready to go. I mean, he about ready to bust a
So
load.
these women, they undressed. They had real breasts.
No, yeah.
And penises.
And penises.
So I think that would be.
They hadn't had the full operation
chicks yet. With dicks, I think is the term.
Well, I tell you another story too where I ran into that.
Right.
And I'm not going to call, I'll tell you the guy's name after the event, but I'm not going to spread his name.
So it's someone in the business.
Yes.
Okay.
He's a sucker generation.
Oh. Okay.
But I'll tell you his name afterwards.
All right.
And you know, I with Mario Savoda in New Jersey. we go to a strip joint.
Yeah.
That is fully naked.
Yeah.
Fully naked, which means they take off everything.
Yeah.
No panties, everything.
No panties.
They take the panties, everything off. Totally naked. You know, you go to most strip joints, they just show the breast.
Yeah.
This breast, vagina,
everything.
Everything, everything.
Everything.
This wrestler was sitting at the bar kissing this girl. The owner said, look, you guys are pretty big guys, so I figure it'd be natural to tell you guys there's not one woman in the whole place. And I go, wait a minute. I said, they got vaginas, it looked like to me. He said, everybody here had the full operation.
All the dances?
All the dances.
Oh, my Lord.
Was guys. He said there's not a woman in the whole place. My buddy is kissing, licking the neck and kissing them, having a good time. She's playing with his pucker, everything. And so I turned to Mario Savodi, and I said, Mario, should I tell him? And Tommy Savodi, you know Tommy?
Yeah, yeah.
Nah, don't tell him nothing. You spoiled the fun. And right now today, he do not know that was a man that he was with.
Get out of town. He never figured out? He never knew?
Never told him. Never told him.
Oh, my God. You want to hear a funny one? I don't know if this story came from Tony, or do you remember the Pink Assassin, Bobby Shoop?
Yes.
It would involve Sheiky Baby. And I don't know if it was the nightclub where Tony bounced, but Sheik was in town, and, you know, he
Hell Kitchens.
What's that now?
The Hell Kitchens. Kitchen.
No, the Combat Zone.
Combat Zone, but no, he worked at Hell Kitchen. That was the name of the club.
Oh, that was the name? Okay.
Yeah.
So she had this, was with, you know, getting with this lady, and then they had to explain to him that she was, I don't know if she was transgender, cross-dresser, whatever the term may be,
yeah.
But Sheiky Baby was a little disappointed, but he went, how about just a blood job?
I believe it. He's on it now. He's on it now. I was talking to a guy the other day that I knew several wrestlers.
Yeah.
Like when we went to Japan and stuff, they couldn't get the Japanese girl. I had wrestlers that is straight try to come on to me.
They were that horny. Well, it's an interesting business we're in, Tony. I say this, I wish Tyler Rex the best. I hope.
In fact, a little midget told me that Rufus R. Jones.
A midget?
Yeah, he shared a room with Rufus R. Jones, and Rufus tried to climb on top of
him.
Who
was the midget?
He was a black midget.
Haiti Kid?
Wasn't Haiti Kid. I know Haiti Kid. God, he was with Vince too. But we was doing a thing for the Youth Foundation or something down in New Jersey.
And Rufus tried to violate the midget?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The midget got drunk and fell asleep, and Rufus tried to stick him in his sleep.
Rufus was going to roofie him.
And Rufus told him, you probably like big dick. You probably like the big dick. And he said, I don't like big dick, little dick, no dick. And he said he went and slept in the hallway because Rufus wouldn't leave him alone.
That's a horrible story.
He was going to rape.
Well, didn't Rufus whip it out near you one night?
Yeah, he would. Yeah. Some of them guys, when they got real horny,
they didn't care.
Because they had this idea.
Well, let me ask you this: do you think maybe deep down they were bisexual human beings?
They were just horny.
They were just straight men that wanted a physical body.
Because the mentality is, it's just like that's why men get raped in prison. They're not gay, but they feel if they're doing it to you, then they're not. You're only gay if you're on a receiving end.
Like how the Sheik had to humble people in Iran.
Yeah, he don't think that's gay.
No, he said there it was only considered gay if you were the one
getting it.
Right.
So there's a lot of people here that got that. I know a lot of them.
Well, I've never been to Iran.
Right. It's in my book about Red Eye Hinton. This got nothing to do with being
Who?
gay. Red Eye Hinton.
Who is Red Eye Hinton?
He was a
wrestler.
He was the Grand Wizard of the KKK in the Clifford Fords, Covington area back in the 50s and 60s.
Yeah.
He was a farmer, but we call him Red Eye because one of his eyes, the white part was red. Or something. What you call that when your eye get red? He had one eye, and the white part was red.
I can't think. I know what it is. I can't think of the term.
Cataract or something. You know, now is, you know, we didn't know what it was then, but you know, now people had that problem. His last name was Hinton. Hinton. And he had two brothers, Ron and Harold Hinton, and Harold Hinton would talk like this. Hinton, Hinton, I'm gonna whoop your black ass, boy. Big old mooses on that, boy. In fact, I wrote about them in my book.
I don't remember that
part. Me in the back with I was fighting his two boys, and I got stabbed in the back with a pitchfork.
He stabbed you?
In the back with a pitchfork.
Really?
Yeah. And what happened there, when I got to fight first with his two sons, Harold and Ron, because what happened was they called us over to haul hay. Yeah. Because that's how country people make their living. Well, most people didn't have money back in them days. So when you work for them, they would give you something. Just like when I go clean out a chicken coop, they would give me a crate of eggs. Yeah. And it was 24, it was like 4 to 6 lovers, but it's 24 eggs in each lover.
You got a lot of eggs.
A lot of eggs. So let's say it's 6 lover. So 6 times 24 is how many eggs you got. So that's what they would give me. If I go and help a guy plant corn, or that's what you took home. You took home corn. Or sometimes they say, hey, my mom just made these fresh tomatoes. Take these tomatoes home to your mom. So they're called horse trading. Because people up in the Appalachians, the Allegheny Mountain, the Blue Ridge Mountain, they didn't have money all the time, you know? So they would trade off. Just like I would come and do some work on his farm, where he would come to my mother's house and do some work on her house. You see what I'm saying? There was no money exchange. Nobody had no money to exchange. So one time we had them haul hay.
Sometimes you exchange goods.
Right. And sometimes I would go work for them, and they got some old hand-me-down clothes that their son used to have, but it's too small for him now. So they didn't have a Goodwill or nothing to donate your clothes to. They had a Salvation Army, but I don't think Goodwill was right. So they would give it to poor families, you know, the leftover clothes. You know, with their clothes, we took them, you know. And so anyway, make a long story short, I got in a fight with Harold first, because I started making fun. It was my fault. I started making fun of the way he talked. He goes, boy, you better move that damn hay and stop throwing that hay up here where I can't get it. So I said, well, I do the best I can. So he got mad at me. He jumped down off the trailer and he punched me. So
he punched you?
So I punched him back. Then his brother Ron jumped in it, so I started fighting both of them. Well, I was a pretty good little scrapper in my day, so I started beating both of them. So all the older black guys that worked in the field with me, they come up and they go, man, that's good. You whooped both of them. That's good. So I walked by the neighborhood, and everybody said, hey, don't mess with that kid there. I just saw him beat up the 2 Hinton boys. So I was kind of like a hero among in the black neighborhood.
Because you took out the man with the strange voice.
No, because I fought a white person.
Oh, okay. All right, that makes sense. Days, that didn't happen. That wasn't.
I beat up 2 white people. Now, I was a big hero in the black neighborhood to be somebody that would stand up to white oppression. Then Red-Eye Hinton came by and said, Tony, I got a small field that I need you to help me with. So it's just him. When I get to the field, his 2 boys are there. So, you know, I'm taking the hay with the pitchfork, throwing it on the trailer. See, some people, later on, they came with the hay bale, you know, with the hay bale. And I'm throwing the hay up on the wagon and everything. And so he's sitting up on the tractor. He's a big, fat guy. And he's looking at me, chewing tobacco. And the tobacco juice used to run down the corner of his mouth right all that nasty. You know, the tobacco juice and food would be on his shirt. So he said, hey, boy, come on over here. I hear that you attacked my boys without them looking. You didn't give them a fair chance. Let me see you take them on now where the fight is fair. I said, okay. And he said, and you better not fight back.
And you better not fight back?
That's what he told me. You better not fight back. He said, that would make things even. So I'm standing there, and I let Ron hit me,
You actually let them do it?
Wait a minute,
All right,
brother.
All right, keep going.
Brother, I've seen people get lynched. Okay? They didn't cut out lynch until 6 to 8. It was legal until 6 to 8, brother. So we knew that we could get lynched. You know that, especially if you're in the hills of Virginia, where there's no sheriff, no police department, no fire department. The nearest police department is in Clifton Ford, which is 4 miles away. Oh. Okay, and then Covington, which is 8 miles away. We in a village here, okay? One store, the commissary. No, brother, that's what white people back there. So anyway, make a long story short, not if you want to live.
So you let them hit you?
I let him hit me. I let the other one hit me. So I told Red-Eyed, I said, okay, that's enough. He said, I tell you when it's done. Your boys get him. So I started fighting back.
Oh?
I started fighting back. He got down off the tractor, got behind me, and took his pick-fork and stabbed me in the back.
How deep?
It hurt like hell.
Really?
It hurt like, I think if I was heavier, he would have killed me. But I was so light that I fell forward. So I had these little, I would say it went maybe about an inch.
Do you still have scars?
No, they're all gone now. They probably do. I can't see my back.
Can't see back there,
I can't see my back. So they were about an inch deep. It went about an inch deep. And then while I was laying on the ground, blood running down, I could feel blood dripping down between the cracks of my butt.
Yeah.
They got on top of me. They beat the shit out of me.
The 3 of them?
No, the 2 boys.
Oh.
His 2 sons. I got up.
This almost sounds like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Before I was getting pats on the back, I was a great guy. Now, after I'm walking home, I'm bleeding. I'm crying. I knew you was a troublemaker. You're going to make trouble for all of us. I knew this was going to turn out bad. I knew you were.
Who said that?
The black people.
Really?
They were scared that they were going to retaliate against them for allowing me to hit a white person. Red-Eye Hinton was the type of guy that he would have sex with his daughter. Yes.
Red-Eye had sex with his daughter?
Yes, he has sex.
Sounds like what happens at the rug store where Connor works.
And have sex with his daughter. And not only him, his daughter at that time, I think she was like 12 or 13.
Yeah.
He would let guys that worked the railroad would pay him to have sex with his 12 and 13-year-old daughter. There was a lot of incest going on in the South. See, a lot of people don't realize a lot of these regulations that we got now in place was not in place back then.
Red-Eye wasn't worried about these regulations.
There was none.
Red-Eye.
No, there was women. My grandmother.
What was his name again? Red-Eye Hinton?
Brother, my grandmother, when she got pregnant when she was 12 and got married at 14. That 14? Was legal in them days. People don't realize how it was. Elvis Presley, when he was started messing around with Priscilla, she was only 14.
Wow. Got a little Jerry Lawler in him.
Yeah, that's how it was with them. Because with the girls, what the father would do when they started sprouting tits, they try to marry them off. See, women did not have, that's why I don't
But I mean, in the area where you live, there was a lot of incest?
Yes, because see, women back, y'all don't realize in the 50s, and in the 60s, women had no say-so. You don't know how many wives I used to see walk down the street with black eyes. You could beat the crap out of your wife back in the day. In fact, if you didn't kick your wife's ass, you were looked down upon. There's laws now, like in Virginia, there was one law I was looking at, we were laughing about it. You can't beat your wife in front of a church on a Wednesday.
On a Wednesday?
Yes, but you can't beat her in front of the church.
Thursday, it's all right.
It was legal to beat your wife. It was legal to not to spank your kid, but to frickin' beat them. I mean, parents back in them days would beat you with switches.
Now you're talking the 60s?
Yes. That's none of this stuff changed until the 80s. That's what people keep missing. In the 70s, you could kick the shit
I wasn't alive for it.
Right, in the 70s, you could kick the shit out of your wife. You could beat the hell out of your kid.
Everywhere?
Everywhere. It was like that, bro.
There were just beatings everywhere? Everybody was just beating people?
These people would tell you they got ass whooping when they were young. Ask anybody over the age of 50. They would tell you, yes, they used to get ass whooping.
I know, I'll tell you this, maybe to get a little personal. I know my father came from a large Italian family. The grandfather owned a large construction company. I think there were 13 kids from my grandmother's side of the family as far as her siblings go. And that grandfather used to beat the fuck out of all of them.
Yes.
All of them.
Yes.
The men and the women.
They would make you go get the stick to whoop your ass with. Go cut me a switch, boy. They say, you better get me a good one, because if you don't get me a good one, I go get a bigger one.
You want to hear a horrible story? And again, I think it kind of ties into almost what you were saying. Granted, this was the North.
We used to get the shit kicked out of us.
But when this, what would be my great-grandfather died, a multimillionaire from owning this construction company, he gave his inheritance to the 6 boys. One of them, one of the siblings had died. They got hit by a train. But the 6 girls got not a penny.
No.
They got nothing.
No.
For out of millions of dollars. And this guy had to have died in the 60s, maybe?
Yeah.
70s?
Because women
Can you believe that?
Yes, because women could not attain property. I mean, women could not buy property. You didn't know that.
I just thought that was insane.
Well, stop and think about this.
And cruel.
Well, think about this. In 2008,
Yeah.
President Obama, former President Obama, took a sign, the Lily Lead Belly Act.
The what?
Lily Lead Belly, like lead belly, your belly.
Yeah.
Lead, like lead.
A lead belly?
Lead belly, like your belly.
Yeah.
A piece of lead, like in a gun.
Yeah.
Lead, like metal.
Yeah.
Lead, that's today. The Lillian is the name. You laughing.
The Lillian lead belly.
Right.
Okay.
They understand me. You
What, but I mean, what is it?
It's a guarantee women the same pay as men that work the same position. 2008.
Wow.
The bill is not even 10 years old.
Isn't that something?
Another example. I've always said this. People ask me about racism in wrestling.
We got about a minute and a half.
That's all I need.
All right.
People always ask about racism, and I answer every question the same way. I've never seen a lot. I've seen racism, but I saw more sexism. Sexism.
How so?
Well, there have never been a woman that got the same treatment in wrestling than they do a wrestler, a male wrestler. And we all know that.
You're talking about the talent.
Well, they had a talent. I mean, the women masters like George Graver and these girls, the boys, you say that nobody could outwork, what was her name, Judy Garland, what was her name?
Judy Martin?
Huh?
Judy Martin?
Judy Martin. Every wrestler knew that. She was the best worker we had everywhere she went.
Really?
Yeah, she was fantastic. Even I hear a lot of wrestlers walking by Daniel, Paul Jones, Johnny Weaver, they all said none of the boys could outwork Judy Martin.
Really?
None of us.
Never knew that.
I saw Muda. All the wrestlers flew in for this show in Charlotte. Everybody flew in. Muda drove. Every wrestler got a hotel. Now, she's a world champion.
Yeah.
Everybody got a hotel. Muda slept in a car. They wouldn't buy her a hotel.
Get out of here. Really? Wow.
That's why she hung around for so many years. She was waiting for that recognition. And how old was she when she got recognition? Give you another example.
God. Again, we're running out of time.
I give you the best. I give you the 2 best examples in the world.
Real quick.
Hillary Clinton.
Yeah.
Who did the cheating, Hillary or Bill?
Bill.
Who got the blame?
Hillary.
Jeffrey Timberlake and Janet Jackson, Super Bowl incident.
Ripped off her exposed her breasts.
He did it.
Yeah.
Who got the blame?
Janet.
That's how we do. We do that now. Like I watched a wrestler. A wrestler had a girl in every town. This one girl wait for this wrestler. He called a girl. They called the wrestling women that loved them. Tribal, bought them food, got them a hotel, did everything for them. They were like a wife on the road. Did more for them than their own wife. And what they call arena rats. Call them cunts, douchebags, all kind of these names.
That's a little cruel.
Yeah, but we do that now. Look into not to get into politics. Who is the person that everybody picks on in politics? Nancy Pelosi.
Why does everybody pick on her?
Because she's the first woman to hold that position.
No. All right, Tony, we're running out of time. Speaking of the first person to hold the position, Tyler Rex, we wish her the best. You know, hopefully she's going to have a happy existence going forward. It's
I'm gonna tell you something though. No offense to him.
Yeah.
He's gonna have a hard time getting laid.
Well, I'm not.
He should have kept that penis.
That's not my point.
He should have kept that penis so he could whack off.
You think he?
He's 6'4", muscular, got a chin like Sergeant Slaughter. Are you freaking ripping me? Who gonna lay that? I mean, he was nice looking as a man, looked big and rugged. But a big, rugged-looking woman with a chin like Sergeant Slaughter and wears freaking size 14 shoe and 6'4", you got to be into a lot of kinky stuff to lay him. He
you know what?
Have a hard time getting laid. He should buy him a dildo or something.
There's someone out there for everybody, I guess. Tyler Rex,
if he finds somebody, God bless him.
We wish you the best. We hope whether you love a man or a woman, you find one that makes your heart beat faster than it does now. I have no idea how to end this other than to say, for the Hall of Famer, Mr. USA Tony Atlas, I'm Dan Mirade. Dear Lord, we hope we didn't offend too many people. Until we speak again, you and yours, be well,
He's not the
stay
cutest
healthy.
woman in the world, right?
World Wrestling Federation was live at the Nassau Coliseum in Long Island, New York, Sunday, February the 23rd, 1986. In the opening contest, Rene Goulet beat George Skoland. Lanny Poffo with the win over Terry Gibbs. Stevie Affey defeated Barry O. Pedro Morales victorious over Les Thornton. Tony Atlas battled Hercules to a draw. Cowboy Bob Orton beat Danny Spivey. Tito Santana and Corporal Kirchner with the win over Nikolai Volkov in the Iron Sheik. Jesse the Body Ventura defeated Uncle Elmer. And in the main event, the WWF Intercontinental Champion Macho Man Randy Savage retained the title over George the Animal Steele via countout. If you are in Long Island live, share your memories in the comment section below. Use the links in the description box to keep Wrestling Legends working in our eBay store and on our acclaimed Patreon streaming service so we can bring you more interactive superstar shoot interviews to relive the good old days of professional wrestling. Check it out. Boston Wrestling Sports in the MWF explodes into a new year with professional wrestling content galore and need you to join our family. Every Tuesday night at 10 p.m. after our Monday Night Raw review, it's Wrestling Insiders at your house with WWE Hall of Famer Mr. USA Tony Atlas. Wednesday nights at 10 p.m. after NXT and AEW, join rotating legends on Wrestling Insiders Special Edition. Every Thursday night at 10 p.m. after our NXT and Dynamite review, it's Marty Jannetty's no-holds-barred sex, drugs, and rock and roll journey on Wrestling Insiders Party with Marty. Friday night after SmackDown, don't miss John Cena Sr.'s Wrestling Insiders Fabulous Fridays. Plus, look for classic clips, history videos, bonus live episodes, pay-per-view watch-alongs, and more. For less than a cup of coffee at Starbucks, get early ad-free access to our Wrestling Insider talk shows, our acclaimed studio shoot interview DVD library, and help keep Wrestling Legends working during the worst of times. Join our growing family at patreon.com/Boston Wrestling. Expect the unexpected in 2021.
Wrestling fans, I'm Dan Mirade.
And this is the man of the hour, Leo Rush.
It's all over BostonWrestling.com and our social media. But Leo, brother, they got to check out some of this merch.
They got to.
Check it out, fans, right now, available on eBay.
Support Wrestling Insiders and keep Wrestling Legends working on eBay. Get this Karrion Kross in Scarlet double autographed 11x14 poster from NXT TakeOver in your house, number 19 of only 30 made. Comes with authentication hologram on the poster itself. Also comes with a mystery autographed 8x10 photo and an on-air shout-out from WWE Hall of Famer Mr. USA Tony Atlas on Wrestling Insiders at your house. Get it now.
All right, wrestling fans, welcome back. I tell you, Tony's journeys are almost like yours. The GPSs in your heads work a little bit different than everybody else.
Yep.
Tony goes from Auburn, Maine to Boston, but somehow winds up in Chicago first.
I've done
He
that
takes
before.
some interesting routes to get to the point of his stories.
Oh, right.
But that's what makes him so much fun.
I can't
guess.
say nothing. You know, you
No,
asked
you're
me
just
one.
as bad.
He'll ask me one question, and I answered 30.
Well, I tell you, we have our 3 regular guests every week on these shows, but what's turned into one of my favorite shows is Wrestling Insider Special Edition, Wednesday night at 10 p.m., where, almost like you see on the cable news shows at night, we don't have a regular guest each week. We have a rotating panels. One week you might see Tatanka. You might see Leo Rush. You might see Savio Vega.
How'd you like Tatanka?
I thought Tatanka was
Great
great.
guy. He's great.
Very,
Yeah.
he had a little PC because he's got that Legends contract, but
Oh,
very
yeah.
well spoken.
Yeah,
very
he's
interesting
very good. He's
guy.
very good, yeah.
Very articulate. I'd have him back in a heartbeat.
Yeah, he's
I
good,
hope we
brother.
have Tatanka in 2021.
I ain't got to see him, man. Last time we was in Israel, that's over a year ago.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah,
That must have been a long flight.
It was. It was worth it though, because my bodyguard was a female.
You had a female bodyguard.
Yes,
in
I'd
Israel.
never had that before.
Really?
Yeah, first of all, I never had bodyguards, but when over there, things can pop off, at any minute, because they got a lot of, factions like the.
Now,
and I don't even want to say any name, but so they assign bodyguards to each American that comes over, because Americans are vulnerable over there if something pops off.
Now, did you wrestle?
Yeah.
Really?
Von Erich's, what's his name, the one that's still around, barefooted.
Oh, didn't they do like a retirement
Yes,
match
that was
for
a
him or
retirement,
something?
yes.
He did a six-man with his sons,
Yes.
Kevin,
Yes.
Marshall, and I can't think of the other son's name. But
I can't either, but he was stiff. He arm dragged me.
Oh,
My
you
damn
worked- you actually
boots
worked
almost
them?
came off.
you worked the Von Erichs?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that. I
Yeah,
didn't
we
know
did
you
the
were
six-man
opponents.
tag that was it.
Oh.
That was his retirement thing.
Fans, the things you learn on a late night Saturday night here on Wrestling Insider's Week in Review. You even get a little fresh original content, but you want to talk about original. Coming up next, we're going to go back to this past Wednesday's Wrestling Insider's special edition. The guest this week, your buddy, Nasty Boy Brian Knobbs.
Oh, Nasty.
We had to get him a special seat because he couldn't
You know
fit
what?
comfortably in this
Yeah, I
one.
heard him. I mean, I've gained weight because my ankle.
Yeah.
I can't work out. I mean, I am. I'm sitting in the chair doing this. I can do some push-ups on my knees, but I
don't
can't.
think Knobbs is doing that right now.
I don't think he
Knobbs
does.
is,
No, he's doing this with eggs
He
and beer.
deflated quite a bit when he got ill. I mean, he was very,
That's
he
what I
almost
heard,
looked
yeah.
sickly. He was so
He
thin.
scared me. I was worried about losing him because he got bad.
And then he showed up at the studio and
took 2 chairs.
he wasn't, he was not the thin Brian Knobbs anymore. But wrestling fans, it's that time.
What about Sags? How was Sag?
He was very well spoken.
Built-
He looks like he could go now.
Well, he wanted to do the shoot fighting. He was going to
Did he
do
really?
that. Yeah, he wanted. He's
At what point?
It's a bad boy, man.
I know that, but at what point did he want to do the shoot?
I don't know, about 5 years ago, I heard he was going to get into it, and I was thinking.
Even at his age?
That's what I was going to tell him. Like, Sag, you're a little bit
gotta be,
older
yeah.
now. Well, that's a strong raw man. When we all lived up in Minneapolis, AWA days.
Yeah.
Kramer, I think was his name. There was an asshole quarterback the Vikings had. We'd always go to this place, Eddie Webster's. It was across the street from where we lived. It was real easy. That quarterback, I think it was Kramer, something Kramer. He was a fucking prick. And he smarted off at me one night, and I snatched him. And the Buffalo Bills, like their football players, I'm sorry, that was with Jim Kelly. Minnesota guys, they come and pull it apart. They mainly got him. They wore his ass out. But Sags is the only one that had me. God damn, I couldn't move, and I was angry. Right? I mean, he's just like vice gripped me. I couldn't move. Like, that's raw bone. That's not shit you get in the gym. That's raw bone strong.
I
That's
tell you
a
this,
blessing.
the fans that have seen Jerry, another articulate individual. He's got some great stories, great memories. But right now, we're going to go back to this past Wednesday night when we were joined by Nasty Boy Brian Knobbs. Stand by. All right, wrestling fans, welcome back. Brian and I have had a lot of fun. Of late, we remembered some great legends that we lost. We talked about our 9th annual Paul Bearer Holiday Headlocks Toy Drive, Cyber Initiative. We talked a little bit about how the Nasty Boys wound up in WWF, a little of their history. Now we're going to dive into the year that was 1991. Big year for the Nasty Boys. Yes. Certainly, not only just for the Nasty Boys, but for WWF in general. 1990, business kind of went down a little bit once the Hulkster went off to Hollywood, but some guys were given notice in the fall of 90. Some new faces were brought in to try and freshen the product up, including Knobbs and Sags, the Nasty Boys. Let's kick off 91 on New Year's Day itself. A tour had been wrapping up. On a plane ride home, I guess a good friend Bobby Heenan had a couple too many, and they couldn't revive him. He was unconscious. They brought him to the area hospital in Tampa. When they revived him,
I wasn't on that flight though. I remember it happening, but I heard about it.
You weren't on that flight.
No.
Were you living in Tampa at the time?
Yes.
You were? Okay.
Yes, we were there since '88 when we went down to wrestle for Steve Kern and Mike Graham for Florida Championship.
Oh, that's right. You were in Florida.
Yeah.
The doctors asked the police to open his bag. They found a couple of pipes and 48 grams of weed, and poor Bobby was embarrassed and arrested. Now, not that 48 grams of weed nowadays, people would grin.
Now it's
but
nothing.
Back in 1991, was it something that the boys started to worry about a little bit, being caught with something like that on the road, or no?
No.
No. Different night, someone just got caught.
No, it was, you know, back then it was like we were rock stars. So,
right.
You know, and Triple H said that to me. You know, I said, it's true to the guys today, you know, go up to play Nintendo. And he goes, yeah, Knobs. He goes, it's so different. He goes, when you guys were in, it was like you were rock stars and rock and rollers. I said, well, that's why I got into business, because it was, you know, that kind of, you know, atmosphere all the time, you know. So, but yeah, it was definitely that kind of atmosphere, and you know, we were just glad that Bobby was okay and everything, you know.
Royal Rumble 1991, we discussed it a little bit. Orlando, Florida, great opening. Tag team.
Miami.
What year was Orlando? Orlando was 90, I think. See, you
Yeah,
caught me.
yeah.
You caught me, brother. You're good.
Yeah.
Because I can't see without my glasses on very well.
No.
Great opening contest between the Rockers and the Orient Express.
Yep.
How did it come to be that we discussed that you were one of the final three with Hulk Hogan and Earthquake. How was it that you came to replace the Honky Tonk Man and not Jerry?
I have no idea.
No idea. Jerry worked a dark match with Sam Houston.
Yeah.
And you went.
And he don't remember that.
And he doesn't remember that.
No.
But I bet you remember your spot.
I couldn't. I just was looking at the board and I was going, "What? Are you kidding me?" You know. And then you know, I went in there like a ball of fire and started hitting everybody and really spudding them. And then Kurt, of course, I went to hit him and he took a step back. I fell on my face and the whole Battle Royal jumped on me and started beating the living hell out of me. Davey Boy, everybody. You know, the damn Kurt got me again. You know, but then I was there to the end, and I mean, it was just amazing to be in that spot. And then, like I said, and at the time, Hulkamania was still running wild.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, and then the happy and you know, me and you know Earthquake, and Quake was such a good guy. You know, he's not here no more either, but. Just to be us two and Jimmy, you know, on the outside of the ring against Hulk, I mean,
great moment.
Unbelievable, yeah. Something you'll never forget. Something that's etched in your brain and your heart, you know, because you know how it was and how great it was, you know.
The day of the Royal Rumble itself, how would they go about putting together the match with 30 guys? Plus even some managers running around. It must have taken a little bit of coordination or a big group meeting.
That's what Pat was good for.
Okay. So take us back.
I don't know.
You don't even remember?
No, I don't know how they did it. They just brought it in, told everybody to come in the room, and there was the board.
So
You're
there was
going
a board
out there.
It would say what number you'd go out and what number you were going to be eliminated.
Yep.
I got you. Okay. Oh, so and who was going to eliminate you?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So it wasn't a Hollywood production, so to speak.
Well, it wasn't too hard to figure out who was going to eliminate me when I saw. I couldn't believe that. I was just kept on saying, really? Sure it's not a mistake? You know, because I just got in. You know, we just got in November.
And you were taking Honky Tonk Man's spot to begin with.
I didn't even know. Yeah. I didn't even know that. Because they called us at the last minute to come down, and we were in Tampa, and they flew us down, and then before you know it, you know, I was on the last three, and I went, damn, that's a good spot to have. But again, that was part of Jimmy Hart's stable. It was me and Sag, it was Earthquake, it was Dino Bravo, it was the Mountie. Big
stable.
Yeah.
Big stable.
Yeah.
We noted that you started on the house show loop in the winter, working with the Bushwhackers, headed into spring. You did a lot of tag team matches on the road with your old friends. Former apartment mates, I should say, down in Memphis, Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty.
Well, in Minneapolis first.
Oh, you knew them in Minneapolis before Memphis?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
I knew them right away in '86, you know, and it was like clockwork, and they were ahead of their time. The spots they were doing, you know, nobody was doing that. I mean, something like the Rock and Roll Express, but they were more, you know, they were coming up with, you know, things that nobody saw before, you know, with the double slide under and everything. I mean, we had one heck of a match with them at the famous Royal Albert Hall in England. I mean, we tore it up, and we always had good matches with them. That just goes way back from driving down the road, wrestling them back in the 80s, and then, you know, finally when we, you know, it was time to, you know, hit the big team, WWF, you know, we already knew we knew each other so good, and we were friends, and that's how it worked. So
Shawn, often regarded as one of the greatest of all time. I think maybe Marty is very underrated. He was so good, so smooth. Your memories of, is Marty Jannetty the professional wrestler?
Marty's great. Yeah, he was really good. You know what I mean? I think Shawn learned a little bit off him in the beginning, because Marty was in before Shawn. You know, Shawn broke in after Marty, and then they got together. I think they got together in the AWA, but Marty was in Kansas City and different places. But Marty knew how to work, man. Marty could work and do all kind of stuff too. You know, all kind of, you know, stuff that you never saw before. You know, and this was back in the AWA days, so not too many people. We came on ESPN, but everybody was watching either NWA down south before turning to WCW or WWF. Right. And then if you're in Texas, you were watching Devon Eriks, you know what I mean? And then Bill Watts had the Louisiana territory. So there were still different territories, but the two top ones at the time, or three top ones, were AWA, Vince, of course, WWF, and NWA. Right. And people like working with AWA because you would have off in the summer. You'd work in the winter, so you would actually have a couple months off, which was good because when you were on the road, you're on the road, you know, and you're not home a lot. You're working, making money for the family, you know.
January 21st, 1991, house show, Nasty Boys Bushwhackers. This one just happened to be in the world's most famous arena, Madison Square Garden. Your memories of the mecca of professional wrestling?
No, unbelievable. Still the best place to wrestle. Because you know, Madison Square Garden, you can't take that away. So whenever you wrestled at the Garden, it was special. Whoever you wrestled, you know, I mean, it was special. It was Madison Square Garden, and there, you know, just like the Boston Garden. I mean, there was a couple all on the northeast. There was the Spectrum in Philly. Yeah. Then you had Madison Square Garden. You had the Boston Garden, and even the Nassau Coliseum was kind of, you know, great, always drew, always sold out, and, you know, I mean, Boston Garden's like a legendary. Oh, sure. The old Garden.
The old one, not the new one.
Yeah.
New one's like a big warehouse.
Some big rats crawling around in the back of the old Garden.
And they worked at the hotels, too.
Got me with that one. I'm not saying nothing. I played the fifth.
Annie claims she's the only one that can put a smile on Greg Valentine's face.
I plead the fifth. No comment.
Stan Lane.
That's my brother-in-law.
Stan Lane was known as the man with the educated feet. Annie was known as the woman with the educated tongue. She could do Olympic-style push-ups with it, but that's all right. Wonderful human being that got the boys a good deal at the hotel.
Yeah.
And you need that on the road, especially with how those expenses would add up.
And it was so close to the airport, and the Hilton's, you know, can't beat the Hilton.
No.
You know, it was a nice hotel, nice bar, you know.
They did have a nice bar downstairs.
Until me and Sag got into WWF, the boys just stayed at the Marriott by the airport. And me and Sag were like, wait a minute, you know, you're missing out. You know, you got to go down Sunset Boulevard on Saturday night. And, you know, we got to know a lot of guys down there. So we started taking the boys down there, you know. Sunset Social Club was right across from the Chateau Marmont, and, you know, the Roxy and the Rainbow, you know, the Rainbow we used to eat there, and, you know, always had all kind of stars and that coming in and out. And at the time, you know, WrestleMania 7 was in LA, so it was a big thing, you know what I mean? So, but a lot of times when we were on the road, that's where we stayed. We stayed at a nice hotel right close to the airport, so when, you know, late for a plane or something, you don't have to go 10 miles or 12, you know what I mean? It's right there. So that's what was good about the Hilton. It was right there.
Yeah, it was right there.
It's almost on Logan
You're
Airport
practically in the airport. It was so close. Yeah. another Baltimore. That was another pretty hot town for both
I forgot about that. Baltimore Arena.
WWF and WCW.
Yeah.
They both like Baltimore.
Yeah.
That was a hot city.
And always sold out there with both, with WCW and WWF. Always good fans, and the Northeast was really good. I mean, wrestling was. And then kept turned down Chicago, the Rosemont. That was huge all the time. Always drawing big money. We started with Vern, so we used to go St. Paul Civic Center. That was way back in the day, and that was a big arena. We wrestled most of the greatest arenas in the world at the time, but I agree with you. Madison Square Garden is still number one. Yeah, can't beat that. Joe Frazier, Ali. 1970s. That was right there, main event. I mean, so many, Frank Sinatra, whatever, the Garden, just like it says, if I can make it there, I'll make it anywhere in New York, right? So.
Also at the Rumble, to go back to that big event, Sergeant Slaughter defeated Ultimate Warrior to become the new WWF World Champion. Slaughter was getting a lot of heat as the Iraqi sympathizer that was friends with Saddam Hussein. He promised to take the title to Saddam. Do you think that maybe that gimmick crossed the line a little bit?
No, but actually, Sheikh Adnan al-Kaisi was from Iraq.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he had family over there when all that broke out. Some of his family died,
Mm-hmm.
and he's still living. I forget where he's living now.
I think he's in Hawaii.
Yeah, and that made it really made Sarge official. You know what I mean? So
put it over the top.
But I don't think. I think that's when G.I. Joe didn't like it there. I guess he was still.
I think his contract was up with G.I. Joe, which is what allowed him to do it.
But they still didn't like it because he was
he was the
big
forever
hero.
be tied in. Right.
Yeah. So, but he was before even that he was a good heel in some points, different territories. He wasn't just a baby face. Some guys were just baby faces. That's why I think it. Got such a big wow factor with the NWO when Hulk turned, because Hulk had never been Hulk. Wait a minute.
Well,
in the early 80s,
yeah,
Freddie Blassie was his manager. Yep. He was a heel.
You remember that?
But after everything popped, he had talk about a run. That was a good run he had there. So with WWF. So, and he was drawing them. I mean, can't beat that. I mean, he's just as being a friend of his, he's just a good guy, good-hearted guy, and a lot of things you don't know because he gives a lot back. He does a lot for charity, but he don't let people know. He don't have to. He's not one of them. He does it because he likes to do it.
He wants to. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the interactions we've had with him, he did a couple appearances with Pat Catino over at the gym, and some things we did when Hogan was with TNA Impact. One of the classiest guys I've ever seen with the fans. I'll say that much.
Yeah, definitely.
Gives every fan a great experience.
And then John Cena, I mean, look at he made the mark with the Make-A-Wish. I mean, he does so much stuff with Make-A-Wish. I mean, you got to just take your hat off because you got to give back. I mean, you can't just. Well, you're in this business, you become famous, and you got to give back. I mean, I do Children's Hospital, I do Make-A-Wish, I do different stuff. Just like he asked us to come up for the Paul Bearer event. I mean, how could you say no? I mean, Paul was such a good guy, and it's for such a great cause, and you're actually an asshole if you don't want to do something like that.
Yeah.
Because you got to give back. You know what I mean? I mean, there's some people that maybe don't like doing it, but me and Sag were never like that. We always like to, do what we can.
Hey, you know what? The business was good to you in a lot of ways. You got to give back to the business.
Exactly.
That's the way I always try and look at it. Someone like Paul Bearer went above and beyond to try and help me as a young person. That he didn't have any need to. He didn't have any necessity in life to say, you know what, I have to try and enrich what Dan Mirade can do in wrestling. He took the time because he felt like he wanted to help the cause, to make wrestling a better place by having more people that are well-versed in it.
Yeah.
I don't think you can ever stop giving back.
Back in the day, nobody knows, but when you know, WCW was beating Vince and SAG got hurt, and I went on the independent circuit, I was wrestling Cactus, and then that Sunday I had to wrestle Stone Cold, you know, on pay-per-view. That's when Vince was letting the guys go out, but the independent circuit was unbelievable because you didn't have every Tom, Dick, and Harry thinking they were a promoter. There was only a couple guys, and they take nice buildings, and you were drawing like 4,000 or 5,000 people.
It wasn't Little League Baseball where you paid $100 and everybody got to play a couple
Exactly.
innings.
And they always had good guys. Bushwhackers were always on with us. Jimmy Snuka, Greg the Hammer. I mean, the list goes on. You know what I mean? And people would come out, you know, because they weren't with, you know, WWE no more or WCW, and it was an independent. But like Canton, Ohio has a nice little arena there. I guess it holds, I think he passed away now. His name was Joe Pizza, but he was friends with the Bushwhackers, and they got me booked there. And brother-in-law Greg, you know, the Hammer, he was doing it for a while, you know, with the independents. And back in the day, the independents were hot, but now, you know, they kind of get watered down a little bit because everybody, you know, some are good, some are good, but some aren't good. So, you know, that hurts a little bit.
There's
you know what I
nothing
mean?
special about it.
Right. Exactly.
When everybody and anyone can do it, what makes it special?
Yeah.
Why go out of your way to see it?
Yep.
And that can be said for a movie, music, anything
exactly.
like that.
You're right.
That even, not to pat myself on the back like Barry Horowitz, but even interviews like this. Anyone can set up a camcorder or anyone can say, oh, we're going to do a Zoom interview on a computer or something like that.
Yeah.
Anybody can do that. Here we have a nice studio. We have a nice ambiance. We have a great history. I mean, going back 19 years now.
This is actually one of the best ones, you know.
Oh, I appreciate that.
I was telling you that when we were just talking.
Yeah.
I said, this is a fantastic setup, beautiful studio, and we're sitting down talking, you know, distancing, following all the rules.
I think we are more than 6 feet apart.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, more than 6 feet. All right, good.
You know.
We got a social distance here.
Even if there wasn't the craziness going on like it was, I think you might want to still be 6 feet apart because, you know, the nasty boys, sometimes we don't smell as good as.
You know what? I didn't want to say anything. Especially with what's going on in the bathrooms here, but that's a different story.
Yeah, I know.
For a different time.
Then I go in there and it looks like I did it.
The bathroom was nasty before you even got here, brother.
I know. Did you do that just for us or what?
I'm still waiting for the plumber. I got a text about a plumber at about 11 o'clock, and here we are now. I don't know what the heck time it is, but I guess he had a long ride. I don't know. Or maybe there were a lot of water issues in the area. Yeah. I don't know. It's always an adventure here in this studio. The same night as WWF taped a Friday night main event special. In 1988, the first Friday night main event they did on NBC with Hogan and Andre did 33 million people. The 1991 version was cut to about a quarter of that. That was the last primetime special on a weeknight that WWF had on NBC. But the same night that was taped, it was during a Superstars of Wrestling challenge. The Nasty Boys won a 7-team tag team battle royal to earn that championship match at WrestleMania 7. Now, going into that night, did you have any idea this battle royal was coming up? Did you?
No, and I don't remember it.
You don't remember winning that tag team battle royal?
No.
I tell you this, back in, you know.
I just saw just recently, you know, because I Facebook, but I'm not on all the time. And
you never respond to me, Brian.
Never. I put likes here and there, but I'm not, you know, I mean, like, when I see Cactus, he's on it all the time and stuff. Yeah. You know what I mean? My wife, like, you know, when I'm at home, you know, I have other things to do, but I like to, you know, put out, like, if I'm on something like this, like I retweeted your thing a couple times.
And we appreciate that.
You know. And
when these shows start to air, you can let the fans know that we're doing it.
And I don't really tell, you know, my personal business either on there, like a lot of people do. But when my knee happened, a friend of mine, who's actually a producer, Fred Young, he said, hey, man, let me do this for you. And I said, if you want it, Fred, but I didn't want it to GoFundMe because he knows, at the time I was going to be out of commission for a while, and that's how we make our money. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it is what it is. And then this year was a total bust where there's nothing. Thank God there's something like this, you know what I mean?
Well, and I've said that again and again. I mean, I'm not sure exactly when this episode is going to air, but you're talking about 8 or 9 months that the boys haven't had live wrestling events to go to. It's been 8 or 9 months, largely, that they haven't been any kind of fan fest. There's been very few autograph signings, a few virtual ones here and there. But like I said, I think this studio can do a lot of goodwill towards the brotherhood if the fans, of course, reach out and support us. If you're watching us during the premiere, don't forget that Super Chat button is open. It helps keep wrestling legends like Brian Knobbs, Jerry Saggs, Marty Jannetty, Tony Atlas, and so many more working. We have our great Patreon service where you get early ad-free access to all of our talk shows, plus our Studio Shoot Interview DVD library for the cost of a cup of coffee down at Starbucks. You can find that at patreon.com/Boston Wrestling. If everybody did just a little bit, it would make the work so much easier, you know what I mean? And I truly believe there are millions of fans that have no idea these shows exist, and as more and more fans find us, I think it's really going to continue to grow and grow. The audience we had gross per month, last month it was almost tenfold. So, I mean, it's really increased. People are really finding what we're doing. I think the weekly Tuesday night talk show with Tony has become very popular. Thursday night with Marty Jannetty has become popular. I think people like the insight of even Cena Sr. after SmackDown Friday night at 10 o'clock. Again, it's all about the fans, what they enjoy, what they want to tune in to see.
So, Marty, Marty comes up every week?
No, when Marty comes up, we tape many episodes. Marty's been here, I think we've taped 7 times since July.
Yeah.
But we've had weekly episodes ever since, every Thursday night. That's the only feable way to make it happen. You know what I mean? If we can't tape several episodes when the guys are in town. Right.
I mean, don't know when this is on the air, but I'm so glad was after Thanksgiving and all that stuff, because there's nobody who was at the airports. There weren't that many people on the plane, which is good. And I got to really, the way I am, and not that my health is bad, but just with different things, if I catch the virus, don't want to do that. You know what I mean?
No. We want to keep everybody healthy.
Exactly.
That's how we end the show every week.
Yeah.
Be well, stay healthy.
Yeah.
Because you only get one run. It's not like wrestling when you can get the comeback, right?
Oh, exactly.
Unless you like Undertaker.
No,
But the goal in 2021, Brian, I want to make magic. I know there's a lot of stars out there that we haven't even thought of coming to this studio.
Right.
And that are going to be here, and we're going to create some great content for the fans to enjoy. So you just have to keep giving us that feedback. You have to keep giving us that support. It's all about you guys. Without you guys, there's nothing. Brian and I would be sitting in a studio with no lights on.
Yeah, and there wouldn't be no nasty boys. There wouldn't. I mean,
you'd just be nasty. You wouldn't be a nasty boy.
Yeah, even the Hulkster, says that. Without the fans, the fans are everything. Yeah. And Undertaker even said something, about the guys, and I do too, with wrestling without fans. That's hard to do, man, because that's what you're there for. You're an entertainer is what you're doing. You're entertaining and showing the people a good time, and take some of the stress off of their life for whether it's a 2-hour show or 3-hour show, or I used to like the house shows the best, because this way you could do what you wanted to do. It's just over in about usually 2.5 hours or so, but you could try new things and didn't have to worry so much about time and this and that, and so you could just go out and have fun.
We mentioned around that same time frame a lot of new returning faces, debuting faces were coming into the company to try and get the houses back up, which they did a very good job in doing in 1991. Another return was, you talk about a fresh coat of paint on someone, the former Jacques Rougeau returned to the WWF as the Mountie. Your memory of Jacques as the Mountie, a man that was part of your stable with Jimmy Hart.
Yeah, and he was good. He got a lot of heat, and he could work. He cried a lot about taking the bumps. He had Big Boss Man for a while, so Boss Man was giving him them slams every night. Another good man that's not with us no more.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
My gosh, I think he was 04, so it's been 16 years for Boss Man.
Yeah, he was after Kurt.
Yeah. And they were very close friends, too.
Yes. I think it went Kurt and Hawk, I think, and then Boss Man, right? Kind of around each other there.
I'll never forget when Mr. Perfect passed, because he came up to one of our live events for the very first time, February 15th of 03.
He was
and
such a
Kurt
good
had
guy.
died a few days before, and he was really distraught about it.
Yeah. Who died?
Kurt Hennig died a few days before his first appearance with us.
Before you had...
Yeah, before one of our live events. And I remember Percy was very upset when he came in for the appearance. No, Mr. Perfect.
What was he upset about?
Percy was upset that Mr. Perfect died.
We're talking about Mr. Perfect. Who are you talking about? Boss Man?
No, Paul Bearer.
Oh, Paul. I thought you were because I was putting Boss Man in there. Yeah, Paul was friends with everybody, man.
Yeah.
And everybody liked him. And Kurt was always the jokester. He was always joking, so he was funny, and just like Paul was too. You know what I mean? So, I mean.
And you know what? I am going to do the same thing with you that I did with Jerry, because I almost forgot again. Think back to when WrestleMania was in New Orleans in 2018 at the WrestleMania week festivities. They have the WrestleCon.
Right.
We happened to be there with Larry and Irene Hennig, and I remember that you and Jerry came over to pay your respects to the man.
Yeah.
And I know that he was slipping. You know, it was less than a year before he'd pass away.
We know them from...
And that meant an awful lot to him, and especially to Irene, too.
Yeah.
You know, that her husband was shown so much respect by not just you, but a lot of the Minnesota guys.
But we knew him. We were at their house and everything back in the day.
And she is just one of the nicest human beings you'll ever meet, Irene Hennig. I was really glad I got to know her.
Yeah, and
Kurt
and Lalice would come down every Christmas, and they stay down by the beach, and we go out almost every day and have some good times, so yeah, he's a real close friend, and his son Joe's close with me in SAG too,
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he's a good kid. He was brought up the right way, so yeah, too young.
He broke in kind of late, but he had a nice long run in WWE before he was released.
A lot of guys really too young.
Yeah. Well, we could do episode upon episode about that. Tributes to the different friends we've lost.
Yep.
But again, we talk about new faces in the company. A man that you probably knew from the AWA. At first, he was known as the Viking, but then there was, I don't know if it was some kind of copyright issue with another wrestler, but then he became the Berserker, Big John Nord.
Yeah. He's great. Yeah, he's another Robbinsdale boy, another Minnesota guy right around that area. They all grew up together. He's doing good. Just talked to Wayne Bloom about him not too long ago, and he's doing real good these days, So he went through a lot of stuff too, with injuries. You can't get around it.
What the hell was that?
That's SAG.
Watch your feet, Jerry, brother. Just so we don't kick anything and unplug it. Welcome back to our humble abode. I couldn't see anything. That caught me off guard. And I lost my train of thought. Oh, Berserker. He had kind of a unique gimmick where instead of trying to win the match via pinfall, he'd take the guy and hurl him over the top rope, and he'd go for a count-out win. I can't think of anyone else in wrestling that ever really did that.
He was mentored by Bruiser Brody.
Yeah.
So you see a lot of Bruiser Brody and
he had a lot of fur on those boots, too, now that you mention it.
That's Jerry.
And
there's SAG. So
you talk about, geez, you hate to use the word face, but 6 months or so after Brutus Beefcake was in that horrible parasailing accident down in Florida, he returned to the company in kind of a unique role. He was under a mask and referred to as the Mariner, almost a military type guy that would run off heels after their squash match wins. Was it good for Brutus to be around the boys again? The gimmick itself didn't last all that long, but at least
you're not talking when him and Hulk got back together with the...
No, that was 93.
Yeah.
This is 91.
He wore a little spot when we were supposed to win the belts.
I remember you.
I don't think I forgot about that.
That one stung a little. We're
my
still in 91.
whole family came out and everything.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we all knew it, and then in that month, it just happened like that. We were already up to, I think it was April 1st and March. We found out March 1st that we were in Europe and Ted and IRS didn't come over right away. They stayed for Monday Night Raw to shoot the angle, and then we found out over there, and that's when, that's when we kind of supposedly got an attitude problem, but we were, kind of like, pretty pissed off because we
wouldn't be pissed off at that point.
6, 7 months we were wrestling them guys, had a great angle going, and just because it was what it was. So
we'll get there though. We'll get there.
It's all good. It is. At first it wasn't, but then it was. Then we were there for only like another year, and then after that,
after you're talking a couple of months.
No, I think '94 we left.
No, you were in WCW by the summer of '93.
Oh, were we?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
See, you know better than me.
Well, you had to live it. I can only I watched it on television. You had to live it and experience it,
Yeah.
But now just
but that's what's good to always have another. That's why AEW is good, because it's it's hard to revamp you. It's like a big circle. So it was always good that you could go somewhere else and then go for 2-3 years down there and then come back and then you're hot again back with the WWE. So it was always good to go. And then when that was, after 2000, there was just one company. Kind of, it hurt the business a lot because there was nowhere for nobody to go.
Right.
So, it's good to see AEW doing as good as they are.
And knock on wood, they continue to succeed and grow and grow and grow.
And some great matches and great talent. And there's another guy I take my hat off to, Jericho.
Yeah.
He's still out there doing it. He's 50,
Hell, great condition for him at his age, yeah.
Yeah, and he still does the rock star thing and everything, you know. So, yeah. But Undertaker still tops everybody, 30-year run.
I don't know who's going to top that, if anybody.
No one will.
Jericho's had a great run, but not an Undertaker
Yeah, but
run.
not WWE the whole time.
In the event, too.
And and great matches and main events all the time, so.
Yeah, Jericho could kind of be ebb and flow with where he was positioned on the card. Great career nonetheless, but just not an Undertaker career.
I like his ideas and stuff, though. I watch both of them. I still watch, I got I tape them so I can go buy something I know. So, but I think all the talent today is incredible. Stuff they do, high flying off here and there. Any second could go wrong, and you there goes your leg, neck, back, whatever, and then you're injured from,
Brian, I look at it like this. There's a lot of people right now that don't like how wrestling is presented on TV. They miss the good old days and so on. But I don't think anyone with an open mind can deny that in 2020, 2021, you have probably the best production values you've ever seen, state-of-the-art production values, along with probably the most athletic roster in the history of the industry. Now, whether you like how it's presented, how you like that jigsaw puzzle is put together, that is debatable, certainly. But as far as these men as athletes, my God.
But in our era, all the guys were 250 and above. Everybody was big.
In your era,
even
you look
Dynamite
like men.
Kid.
You look like men.
Well, even Dynamite Kid, he was short. But
small they are. I mean, compared to, look at the size of you. Look at the size of Jerry.
Yeah.
And just some of the veterans of that day and age. Even Savio, when he was here, he was still very thick.
Yeah, still big.
And you have, in some cases, talents on Major League Television shows that look like they still could be in high school if you found out. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
So I think that's hurt the business. That's one of the negatives right now. One man's opinion.
But what are you going to do, Because right now there's, all kind of rules. Like I say that to everybody, football's changed, basketball's changed, hockey's changed. I mean, look at it, you can't even hit the quarterback the way you used to. So wrestling's going to change too. I mean, you change with the times, and that's the way it is. So, if you like wrestling, you still watch, and those who don't, definitely tell us when we're signing for them, like, your era was and it's always between that 80s, 90s era there. They're just, the characters they had in that, it just, you know, it just a lot of good thinking. You know what I mean? So, I mean, just think about it. I mean, there's, you know, from, you know, you had Tito, you had the model, Rick Martel. I mean, guys that just you know, Mountie, you said he switched, and Papa. How about
Shango,
he went from Papa to this, he went to a couple of years.
He was a UFC fighter for a while, then he was part of the Nation of Domination, then he was a pimp.
Then he had, that's the one that fits him the best.
Yep, he lived the gimmick that time. March 11th, the TV taping that took place before WrestleMania to air after WrestleMania. We mentioned Sergeant Slaughter with General Adnan, but we had a unique return. Former WWF World Champion, the Iron Sheik, returned not as Sheiky Baby, but as Colonel Mustafa.
Yeah.
Your thoughts on the return of your old buddy, the Sheik, to the WWF with a whole new look and even a whole new name?
Well, it was good because, you know, he was one of the pioneers to start everything back in the 80s when the big, you know, put it this way, wrestling was always big. I mean, if you look all the way back with Bruno and Zbyszko, and were selling out Shea Stadium. I mean, you know, back in '72, Andre, wherever Andre went, you know, I mean, that if you saw that HBO special, he was drawn all over the world. And at that time, they didn't even have, you know, like today, they at least have, you know, places for big guys like that. Not that big, but, you know, to sit and all that stuff.
Right.
He had to go through hell and back, and he did, you know, and back in the day, he could drop kick and everything.
Well, yeah.
You know, so, I mean, it's definitely, you know, like I said, everything changes, but the product's still great. And then, like you said, like how they did do the Raw and the SmackDown now, they really lighted up with the screens. Like at first they didn't. And AEW is good, but they didn't get that far yet. They still, you know, have the guy, you know, some little couple fans there, but, you know, at least there, it's like you say, a lot of flashlights and it looks sharp, you know. So they're always thinking. That's you know, Kevin Dunn. He's a genius, you know.
Well, and he's been, think about how long that man has been with the company in that position.
From the start, you know, not the start, but I think from way back. You know, in the WrestleMania, first WrestleMania, I think he was there doing something. I know he moved up. You know,
he was. I mean,
I don't know how long he actually was there, but I know he was there for a while.
I remember his name in the credits, even in the early '80s, in the late '80s on Primetime Wrestling, the USA show, where they'd have, you know, cameraman, director, and I loved Primetime.
Yeah,
when Bobby and Gorilla hosted it.
Yeah,
that was a lot of fun.
And then, Vince and Bobby, and then
Vince would come out wearing those Zubaz type outfits later on.
And then we were, we were on a bunch of them shows, you know.
How was Sheiky Baby at that point with the medicine? Was he all right, or it wasn't a very long run for him that time, but.
Sheik's always been Sheik, you know what I mean?
It's always been a medicine.
Yeah, well, yeah, and, you know, so, but, you know, one of the greatest guys, you know.
Without a doubt.
And now, you know, his injuries, too. I mean, he's getting up there, and like I told you, he was an Olympic champion, so from being there.
What a life. If only they could have told the true story in that documentary that they put out a couple of years back. But
I never saw that. Oh,
you were interviewed for it.
Oh, yeah, with the two guys from Toronto.
Two pieces of garbage.
I don't think they did Sheiky right there.
No.
I know who you're talking about.
No, they didn't.
Yeah.
They didn't. But it was.
They needed a good open hand Andre slap.
Yeah. It was unique to see Sheik come back as a different person, though. I was not expecting that. Similar in a match tape for a return after WrestleMania. Ricky Steamboat came back, only they got rid of the name Ricky Steamboat. He was just the Dragon, certainly one of the great in-ring match-by-match performers of the generation.
Oh.
That must have been certainly a great addition to the roster.
Unbelievable. I mean, Ricky was just, what a fantastic worker. I mean, him and Macho's match in WrestleMania 3 was still, you know, I mean, one of the top matches you can ever watch. I mean,
even now.
Even now. Yeah, back and forth, back and forth. You know, and they weren't small guys either.
No. In those times, they were smaller guys, but you put them on TV right now, and they'd be at least average, if nothing else.
Mach was big, dude.
Your thickness, yeah, but I'm talking about height-wise and such.
No, height-wise, no, but he was pumped.
He was a big man, thick man, a believable,
And
believable
Ricky,
man.
Yep.
When you saw, that's not someone you'd want to cross.
And Ricky could do almost anything too. I mean, some of his matches with Flair, unbelievable. You know what I mean?
They did a really good job retooling that roster in 1991 to make the product all that much more enjoyable and watchable. Because, like I said,
it was all the different gimmicks and stuff.
Yeah.
And different managers, and everybody worked as a team. So even the referees in there, you know what I mean? We had Joey Morella, Gorilla's son, and
another one we lost.
Yeah. And then what's his name? He just got let go. I couldn't believe it.
Tony Chimmel?
Or
Mike Chioda?
No, Chioda. Chioda was there forever too.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I have a lot of friends in WWE. WWE has been very good to us over the years, but sometimes you just have to share an opinion. We're all entitled to them, I guess.
Yeah, and like I said, everything changes, so nothing stays the same. Just and it's not just pro wrestling; it's everything.
It's every form of sport and entertainment.
Yes, exactly.
And 20, 30 years from now, it'll look different than it does now.
Exactly.
There is going to be a generation of fans that look at what many don't like in 2020 is the good old days someday.
Yes.
When they're in their 30s and 40s and 50s.
But you go back, you can go all the way back to, like, you're talking about Patterson in the 50s, and you had Gorgeous George.
Yeah.
And they were drawing big houses back then. People don't even know it, but they were, it wasn't like just when Hulk's in WrestleMania and that, I mean, it exploded worldwide, kind of, but it was always big in them different territories. I mean, Florida was a big, breeding ground for guys to come in and out.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Sure.
And Eddie Graham was running it. Eddie Graham was running it. So, you just look back and you see Bob Geigel in Kansas City had Harley, and you can't, not say Harley Race. He was a man among men.
Another man that sat in your very seat. It was great to have Harley here. His stories were fantastic when we had him. I wish we could have had him more before he passed away. That's why I stress.
He was one tough SOB, too.
Absolutely. That's why these shows are so important, to document these memories and these legends. WWE never made a 3-disc Harley Race DVD documentary. So without shows like this, a lot of those stories, they go with them,
Yeah.
Let me ask you this one. The big night, WrestleMania 7, as we documented, you defeated the Hart Foundation to become WWF Tag Team Champions. You're in the history books, the record books. What was it like to hear Howard Finkel make that announcement and the new World Wrestling Federation Tag Team Champions, the Nasty Boys?
I don't know, we were laying on the floor, beat up, going, yeah. It actually sounded like, because I told my dad, talked about it.
Now, did your dad go to the show?
No, but my brother and all of our friends went, and my wife, she was my girlfriend at the time, she went, and had one of the greatest times ever. And then at the end of the night, we ended up going over to Santa Monica with Kurt and Sean and Larry the Axe, who kept on telling Kurt I was full of shit, that Willie Nelson wasn't staying there, and we ended up partying with Willie till like 6 in the morning, and then from there 6 or 7, and then at like 9:30 we had to be at Gold's Gym to do stuff with Vince for that prime time after we just won the belts, and we were still half lit up, especially being with Willie. But what a heck of a time, what a heck of a party.
Marty told the story that it was a lot of medicine that night, and Willie wound up becoming kind of one of the tag team champions. Did Willie actually get the belt?
He sang Angel Flying Too Close to the Ground for me, and I gave him the belt.
Now, why did you give him the belt?
Because,
it was that
he's
good.
One of my heroes, and he's awesome, and he's a hero, and he's a true icon, and he does anything for people. And at that time, I already had known him, I think 4 years.
So he wasn't a stranger to you?
No. I know him from Dusty, '88, met him, and then in '91.
Oh, wow.
He came and sang, yeah. And it was so funny because when he was doing his rehearsal, everybody was around Lanza and everybody's around the ring looking at Willie. And when we walked up, he stopped and he said, "What are you doing, boys?" This and that. And he, we get in the ring to hug him, and everybody was like, "How do the Nasty Boys know Willie Nelson?" So, but yeah, and I still know him real good to this day. He's been a friend of mine. I've been to his picnics, and I did the Best Damn Sports Show, and went out there and, went out to one of the picnics and interviewed Merle Haggard, and Barry Switzer was there, and Toby Keith.
Oh, wow.
And, they had Grateful Dead, but Garcia wasn't with them anymore. And then I interviewed Willie,
That's really impressive.
Yeah.
Willie Nelson, wow. Did Willie keep the belt?
No, I had to ask him back after we were ready later. I said, "Willie, I'm sorry, but he wore it. I had pictures with him wearing it. He wore it like it was a country belt buckle. He loved it. Oh, yeah."
Now, what was Vince McMahon's reaction the morning after WrestleMania after giving you the belt to only find out that Willie Nelson had one of them?
No.
He didn't know?
No, he never. He knew later, but I got it back before I left that night.
So he didn't keep it for a prolonged period.
No.
Oh, I see.
I gave it to him. He wore it. He was having fun, and then I said, "I'm sorry, Willie, but I have to get that back. I got to shoot TV tomorrow." And he laughed. He said, "I thought you gave it to me." So he,
Do you think Willie wanted it?
He would have loved that. Yeah, and he likes to joke around.
Yeah.
So yeah, we had a good time. Everybody that was there, and a lot of people came over with us. And we went from there, and then the bar shut down, and then all of us went on the bus. Mr. Perfect and Sean was there, and Larry the Axe, and all.
Isn't that great that Kurt used to take Larry and bring him to some of those big shows? Because Larry loved being on the road.
Well, Larry, he's the one that introduced wrestling to his son. He was a big wig in AWA.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. And strong. He's the only one, Hawk said, he gave him the double axe, the axe, that he goes, my eyes twirled in the back of my head after I gave him. So, he was the real deal. Good old Larry the Axe.
I'm glad that we brought him to WrestleMania in New Orleans a couple of years ago. And like I said, I'm glad that you and Jerry and 1-2-3 Kid and Demolition all came over to just give him a couple moments of your time and catch up with him. And it meant a lot to him, and especially it meant a lot to Irene.
Yeah,
because she's just such a nice lady.
Well, we had to because we'd known them. They're like family,
And that was probably the last time you ever saw him.
Yeah.
Because he passed that December.
Yep.
Tough.
Yeah.
But you know what? At least he was a gentleman that was in his 80s as opposed to some of our friends that we lose in the 30s and 40s. He lived a full life.
Yes, he did.
He lived a full life.
Yep.
And he meant an awful lot to the business.
And he saw his grandson, Joe.
Yep. He even got to manage him a couple of times, which I thought was great.
Yeah, so.
I think it was a pre-show match on a WWE pay-per-view. He got to go out and manage his grandson, which I'm sure meant the world to him. And I'm sure Mr. Perfect looked down from up there, and he had a big smile on his face, too.
Exactly.
And, I bet a lot of our friends right now is sitting around saying, what are crazy knobs and sags talking about in that TV studio with that crippled guy?
Yeah.
Maybe we're entertaining them, too. Who knows?
Exactly. They're having some hellacious matches up there.
I tell you this, SummerSlam weekend when Marty was here, we were going to do a watch-along where we watch the actual pay-per-view when we comment on it while the fans watch us and they go back and forth. Yeah. And just as we were getting ready to do it, after we were talking about Percy, the power to the building went out. And I said, you know what? He's fucking with me. And if someday when I make it up there I find out that to be true, I won't be surprised.
Well, we come here and the bathrooms ain't working, and what the heck? Jesus. Just because we're the Nasty Boys, I mean, come on.
You'd think you'd be the ones that caused it, right?
Yeah.
Not a ride.
Well, that's why I tell you. I said, hey, wait a minute. That wasn't me. Oh, God.
Well, you know what, Brian? We've had a lot of fun. I want to have you back here in 2021. You guys, you may be nasty in spirit, but the kindness you've extended for the Paul Bearer Holiday Headlocks Toy Drive, beyond coming in for the great interviews, we did the virtual autograph signing, and again, for the fans that couldn't join us live, they might have been busy on a Saturday, they might have been out Christmas shopping? Oh,
Yes.
God only knows. Look at the weather out here. Their power might have gone out.
Yeah.
They can still get the VIP package with the photos and the posters. Anything that was left over from the virtual signing, you guys were nice enough to sign before you left. Again, that shows the heart of the individuals. And again, as life perks back up, anytime you have anything nasty you want to promote, you've got our show. We got a heck of a lot of fans that have been tuning in.
Well, love to come back. Me and Sag would love to come up. We always loved Boston. Was one of our favorite towns. Like
and I may
said.
have to come down to Tampa to see a Rays game with you. We'll have to wait and see about that.
Yeah, I'll hook
I'm
you
a
up down there.
diehard baseball fan.
Oh, I'll hook you up down there.
Briscoe likes going too. Did you know that? Jerry likes going to the Rays games now?
I didn't see him too much, but I got John. He started going to him. Cena was going to him.
Did he? He started going to the Rays games? Yeah?
Yeah, definitely.
Wow, I didn't know that.
And then he was there for one of the World Series, and then he had a booth up there. So
wow.
I was down in the front row, and after the game was over, we went up, and he had it was loaded, a big cooler full of Jack, this, that, the other. Oh, my word.
Did you go up?
Yeah, me and Sag went up and partied. We partied, then took the thing down. Yeah, we had a hell of a time, dude.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Nice memory. Well, the Cenas are good people. John Cena Sr. has been part of our organization. It's unbelievable. 15-plus years now that we've known Johnny Sr. with his famous line of Fabo Pop Soda. But we're running out of time on this episode, fans. We need your feedback. Do you want to get us nasty more? Do you want more knobs? Do you want more Sags? Let us know. We've had a lot of great new guests come in through the end of 2020 thanks to the Paul Bearer Toy Drive Cyber Fan Fest. Anytime you guys want to see these greats, if you'll help make it happen, we're willing to do the legwork, folks. For my friend Brian Nobbs, I'm Dan Mirade. Until we speak again, folks, you and yours be well, stay healthy. Good night.
And stay nasty.
The World Wrestling Federation was live at Meadowlands Arena in East Rutherford, New Jersey, Saturday, February the 24th, 1996, birthday of Boston Wrestling Chairman Neil Manolian. In the opening contest, Fatu replaced Barry Horowitz to beat Bob Backlund. Ringmaster Steve Austin with the win over Bob Hawley. Justin Hawk Bradshaw defeated Marty Jannetty. Bonnie Donna's victorious over the Godwins. Hunter Hearst Helmsley beat Duke the Dumpster Grossi. Acting WWF President Rowdy Roddy Piper with the win over the 1-2-3 Kid. Intercontinental Champion Goldust retained over Savio Vega. Ahmed Johnson defeated Tatanka, who replaced Jeff Jarrett. In the main event, The Undertaker victorious over WWF World Champion Bret Hitman Hart via disqualification when Goldust interfered. This was originally a triple threat match with Diesel involved. And Shawn Michaels and Yokozuna beat Owen Hart and Davey Boy Smith. If you were in the Meadowlands Live, share your memories in the comment section below. Use the links in the description box to keep Wrestling Legends working in our eBay store and on our acclaimed Patreon streaming service so we can bring you more interactive superstar shoot interviews to relive the good old days of professional wrestling. Check it out. Boston Wrestling Sports in the MWF explodes into a new year with professional wrestling content galore and need you to join our family. Every Tuesday night at 10 p.m. after our Monday Night Raw review, it's Wrestling Insiders at your house with WWE Hall of Famer Mr. USA Tony Atlas. Wednesday nights at 10 p.m. after NXT and AEW, join rotating legends on Wrestling Insiders Special Edition. Every Thursday night at 10 p.m. after our NXT and Dynamite review, it's Marty Jannetty's no-holds-barred sex, drugs, and rock and roll journey on Wrestling Insiders Party with Marty. Friday night after SmackDown, don't miss John Cena Sr.'s Wrestling Insiders Fabulous Fridays. Plus, look for classic clips, history videos, bonus live episodes, pay-per-view watch-alongs, and more. For less than a cup of coffee at Starbucks, get early ad-free access to our Wrestling Insider talk shows, our acclaimed studio shoot interview DVD library, and help keep wrestling legends working during the worst of times. Join our growing family at patreon.com/Boston Wrestling. Expect the unexpected in 2021.
Wrestling fans around the corner, around the world, I'm Dan Mirade.
And I'm Mr. USA WWE Hall of Famer Tony Atlas.
The road to WrestleMania has begun. Wrestling fans are looking to add to their man caves. You got to see what we have in the eBay store.
Check it out.
Support Wrestling Insiders and keep wrestling legends working on eBay. Get this limited edition WWE NXT Johnny Gargano personally autographed
11 by 14 comic book style poster, a great addition to the collection of any Johnny Wrestling or NXT fan direct from WWE. Also comes with a mystery autographed 8x10 photo and an on-air shout-out from WWE Hall of Famer Mr. USA Tony Atlas on Wrestling Insiders at your house. Get it now. All right, wrestling fans, welcome back. Marty, the only word maybe you could use to describe that is nasty.
That's pretty much it.
Boy,
you know when
if
they
you ever
first
saw the toilets here that day,
they tore it up.
No, it wasn't even them. That's the funny thing. There was some kind of construction going on out on the loading dock. And I don't know if it was the workers or the pipes, but we didn't have any restrooms for the nasty boys.
I tell you what, Knobs used the bathroom at my house one time. I mean, it was, the bathrooms, we're pretty good ways away from the bathroom, and we still heard it. And man, I went to, I didn't hear him flush. I'm like, man, you didn't flush the damn toilet. And I went in there, and he almost blasted the toilet off the floor.
He didn't flush it?
It was, no, he didn't. I had to do like this.
Why didn't he flush it?
He forgot.
He was that busy in the bathroom that he forgot to flush?
I think he was glad he survived.
Well, yeah.
I mean, he blew the toilet loose. I mean, I had to tighten the little things down.
How long ago was this? Are we
That's
talking
a long time
WWF
ago.
days?
Yeah.
Well, we'll get there on Party with Marty. Speaking.
What year are we on, 89?
Well, different show. Yes,
yeah.
As a matter of fact, we're still working through 89. For wrestling fans, as you know, every Thursday night at 10 p.m., I mean, you talk about the tales. We have a tree, and some of the interesting branches that Marty comes up with on that tree are gems that fans will love for decades to come on Wrestling Insiders Party with Marty. Coming up right now, as a matter of fact, is this fine gentleman from this past Thursday night. Here it is, folks, the latest Marty Jannetty, Party with Marty. Stand by.
This might not be vodka.
All right, wrestling fans, we're rolling through wintertime, and I'm being recorded right now.
Well, recording us recording stuff.
We're recording us recording stuff. Well, coming
This
soon,
is our show. When is this showing?
This is going to run this Thursday.
This is Thursday night, y'all. Even though you're seeing it Friday.
He's recording you as you watch us. That's
good.
Yeah,
we'll record the camera,
Marty,
recording the camera.
You're a character and a half.
You've
Marty,
changed,
let me tell
bro.
you. We've recorded some interesting content already. We have some happy birthdays we got to send out.
Yeah, who we got?
On February 24th, the co-owner of Boston Wrestling Sports, the MWF, Mr. Neil Manolian, has joined me hitting the big 4-0. Unbelievable.
4-0.
We were two crazy
Are we
kids.
still rolling on here, right?
Huh?
Look, man, I'm shaking like a dang.
I don't know what you're shaking, but
I don't know, man. It's chilly in here.
Quincy used to say, "Shake the weasel."
Yeah, I heard.
But he's joined the 4-0 Club, so happy birthday to him.
Happy birthday, brother.
We send out a happy birthday to the other junior ambassador of Boston Wrestling, Mr. Brandon J., the brother of the individual that got the PlayStation. He is, my gosh, I don't even want to say how old he is, or I might water up.
Why?
Because when he came in my world, he was just a little 4-year-old.
Now he's grown
And
up.
now he's, my God, he's driving a truck.
He's legal to drink.
Oh, yeah.
He's getting up there.
20, oh my God, I don't even want to
birthday,
say
brother.
it, 23? Oh my God,
Ain't
Brandon,
that crazy?
you're killing me. You're killing me,
Crazy,
kid.
man.
20.
You know, Swaggy's 2.5.
How could I have been a quasi pretend grandfather at 37? Well, he got started young is the answer to that.
You and not me, though.
Can you believe that, though? My God, I was 37 when he had his kid. Anyway.
You know, Swaggy's 2.5 now.
Really? Yeah. Is that him texting you?
Yeah, probably.
No, it must be tough to text with pause.
I got to call my brother when we get through with this one. Have me call Gino.
All right, I'll remind you.
Because Swaggy, I forgot to feed his.
Does he go and visit? Does Gino visit
well, no,
the cat when you're
he
gone?
will go over there. I forgot to put food in the, like.
Well, he's got to eat.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
That's
what
he'll
Annie
do all right
used to
one
say.
day, but I don't want to go 2 days without eating.
Annie used to say that too. Anyway.
And she ate.
And we also want to send one more happy birthday shout out to a land down under in Auckland, New Zealand. Our good friend Radley Fenner. It's unbelievable the lack of corona they've had down in New Zealand. They've only had
that shit won't. They got things down there. Corona go nah.
26 deaths.
That's it.
The whole time?
You know, they got black voodoo down there.
They've got what?
They got magic, black magic. Voodoo.
Black magic?
Voodoo.
Why is that?
Voodoo. I don't know why.
Well, we'll have to
They
ask.
still believe in, this girl one time, we was in a club in Sydney.
Yeah.
Australia.
Well, I'm talking New Zealand now.
Yeah, I know it's right there.
Well, all right.
But she, she was a New Zealander, Aborigine. She was still part of the, like, tribes and shit. And she put a necklace around me, and I thought it was kind of cool. That's cool. I got an New Zealand thing, and then she goes, this is blessed with a curse. What? Blessed with a curse? What the hell? And she goes, yes, if you don't do me right, something bad will happen to you.
Wow.
And I'm like, can I take this motherfucker off?
That's some serious shit.
Yeah, okay. What's going to happen if I take it off? Anything going to happen? You don't want to take it off. I ended up she forced me to have sex. She was beautiful, too. You wouldn't believe an Aborigine or a tribal lady would be so beautiful. You would think they'd look like, with a bone in her nose and hair sticking up. And Tony,
in New Zealand,
Tony,
really?
Don't you call me a racist for that? Damn it! I'm telling you you know that. You've been down there. But she was beautiful. So, but I had to go ahead and do that.
When were you allowed to take this cursed necklace off?
I went ahead after a couple showers. I went ahead and said, "Damn, man," because it was like, I don't know what it was.
And your luck has gone downhill ever since. She meant business with this cursed necklace.
All them Australian people believed in it.
Really?
Yeah, they were like Marty. Because she was a real voodoo girl.
My friend in New Zealand has invited me down so many times before the coronavirus and whatnot, and I'd like to go.
I'm telling you, man, they put them beads on.
I don't want to be cursed.
Corona ain't going to do nothing.
I've got enough bad luck. Maybe that's why they've had so much luck down there. With only 26 deaths, every day they cursed the virus.
China did that shit on purpose.
Well, I don't know about that.
We won't get into all that.
We do want to send Radley a very happy birthday. He's one of our great fans. He comes from a great place. Then the home of our good friend Bushwhacker Butch, who is going to be making he's going to, well, I'll tell you this. He was supposed to come back this spring.
For real?
But Luke texted me. Luke's texted me the other day that it's postponed.
Let's call Luke
in
a little bit. Let's do it online.
You want to surprise Luke?
What do you call this?
So that's too bad. The Bushwhacker returns. Butch has only been back in the country one time since he moved when he went into the Hall of Fame. I don't know if you.
He's in the Hall of Fame too. Damn it! Well, he deserves to be though.
He does.
Man, he's got like a 50-year career.
And he was gonna. They were gonna come in.
Sheep herders.
Oh yeah. That's what I thought was so crazy because when I first started watching when I was a kid, they were these ultra-violent, bloody.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Warriors.
Yeah.
Then they came to WWF as this comedy routine, and
I
was surprised.
Well, let me tell you about their first day in there.
All right.
The TV tapings usually when you start, you don't start at house shows because they want to just show you a few times.
Yeah, to get you over.
Right. And so they come in, and I've known them from magazines only, like sheep herders, but they come in as bushwhackers. We're like, what? Bushwhackers? All right. But I have respect for them because veterans. You always respect your veterans. And Luke, we're at the cafeteria, or they what do they call it, catering, and you get food. You just load up, but you better load up because you're not eating again. That's like around 2 o'clock. It's over around 3ish, or when everything's gone. You ain't eating again until about 11 that night, so you better load up. But so they're going through and they're getting stuff, and Luke, now remember, he's fresh in the territory. I only knew him from magazines. A lot of the other guys didn't, had no clue, who the bushwhacker guys. And there's some knew better than me. Of course, the veterans knew. But poor Luke, he's over there goes, and he spit out his right on, and it was on purpose, right into the food. But it's like his, what do you call it, a little partial like I'm supposed to have. I left it at home. I went through all that trouble and left the son of a bitch at home. Now I got a paper tooth again. But it came out and it went in the soup. That was our introduction to them.
Now that was Luke?
Luke, he spit his tooth out in the damn catering food.
Well, great introduction, I guess, but it's going to be great when the Bushwhackers are back here in the United States. Butch is going to stay for a couple of months.
We need to call Luke.
Well, hopefully we can. I want to have them here in studio together because how many opportunities?
Oh God, they're great.
How many opportunities are we going to have to get Butch?
They're going to lick you.
What's that?
They're going to lick you.
They're not going to lick me.
Yeah, I bet you they'll reach across the table.
I am not going to be licked. I will not be. I refuse to.
That ain't what Ann said.
She does a different kind of licking.
Yeah.
It's finger licking good, but just
shave.
not on the finger.
She like, now I wouldn't know because I'm not that way. I don't like girls putting their tongue in my my butt.
You've never had your ass eaten.
No, I don't need it. It's I don't even like having to wipe my ass.
Oh, but, that's just kind of out of necessity, I guess.
Yes, that's the only reason I do it. But she makes them like Greg Hammer. Oh, is he still married? Did she die?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't want to say nothing then. Oh, some of the other guys, Beefcake. Oh, he's married for sure. Sorry, Missy. Missy, oh, you had Beefer here.
Yeah.
How'd he do? That's enough. Say no more.
I'd have him back under the right circumstances for sure.
Yeah, it will be some great circumstances. Well, I was going to say she makes him shave the hair, like if she's going to lick her butt.
Annie?
Oh yeah, she actually. I'm not.
Would
gonna say,
Annie do the shaving?
That I don't know. And I'm not going to say Greg Valentine's name, but she would have him shave the hair because she didn't like the hair in her mouth.
She wanted a smooth ass.
Yeah, she wanted clean shit.
So when the boys came to Boston, they'd have to groom before Annie would go to town.
Yeah, she was particular about that.
Really?
Well, that's what I heard. I like Annie as a friend.
This is a woman that stuck her tongue in men's asses, but she was that particular that they had to be nice and smooth for
look,
Annie.
I'm going to stick my tongue in a pile of shit, but don't have hair around it.
I'd love to know, because fans in the booth right now,
man,
don't even get me started about Glance, but we have our new intern here at the studio, Dave, helping out. He's a good man. We appreciate him coming down for this insanity. He knows next to nothing about professional wrestling, and now he's hearing about Annie the ass
you're going to learn a lot then, brother.
And not only about Annie's special skill, but apparently she likes the men groomed down there. So.
Yeah, man, she's a stylist.
Now, did you ever have to help Sean prepare for his evenings with Annie?
I don't know if Sean ever got with her.
Oh, no, it's not what she says.
Unless she had some money to give him or something, or cocaine. Back in the day, we did cocaine.
Yeah, well,
we don't do that much.
Oh, no, never.
Yeah, well, not that much. No, not at all. I better say not at all. My brother kicked my ass. Look, and I'm not doing it now, but it's cold in here.
Every time you rub your nose, people say in the chat that that's what you're doing.
Cocaine,
yeah. And that's
I watched one, and I was just like doing this. I'm like, damn, man, stop. I couldn't even hardly wash my own damn thing.
The fans don't realize how cold it is in this room.
It's chilly in here. It's not usually this chilly.
Because we have to keep it cold, because those cameras go for 6 figures. So if those
I'm
fry...
going to pawn one of them.
What's that now?
I'm going to pawn one of them.
Well, and we can buy a little heater then. It'll be nice and warm.
You should have told me. I got this little space heater.
Or Annie might be able to warm.
Why don't you call her?
No, that's all right.
I'll do it right now.
But you never had to help Sean prepare for Annie?
No, I've never groomed Sean.
Well, you know, you learn something new every week on this episode, fans. Thursday nights at 10, at least it's after 10 o'clock, to start talking about ass eating. But
hey, I'm going to post this on my Facebook.
Okay.
He was just having us talk about, and we called her, excuse my language, we called her ass-eating Annie, because she used to like to lick, you say it, I can't do it.
Well, she was almost like a bushwhacker. Only instead of the head,
yeah,
it was
she
the
was.
ass.
Look, we're video. This is going on our show. When's this going?
Thursday nights at 10.
This one right
every
here.
Week. This episode will air this Thursday.
This Thursday, we're talking about eating ass. Because what the thing was, like.
But you know my favorite line with her, though.
What
she'd
is
say,
it?
I'm not like those other whores, baby. When Vince comes to town, he'll buy me a drink. I don't let those guys fuck me, baby. No, she just eats their ass.
Yeah, she like, I'm not going to say Greg Valentine's name because I think he's still with somebody. But she used to make
the only time she'd smile.
Yeah.
The only time Greg would smile was his visits with Annie.
Yeah, but she would make them shave the hair away from their butthole. And I just thought, like, you're sticking your tongue in shit, but you don't want hair around it. What the? Yeah.
I tell you. Well, I guess everybody's got their own particular likes and dislikes, and now we know a little bit more about one of the crowd favorites. When we have the premieres on Thursday night at 10, they love us. Stories and imitations of poor Annie.
You think they love hearing about ass eating?
They do. I don't know.
No, you do.
I don't know if it's the ass eating that they like hearing about, but they enjoy hearing the tales of Annie. They want Annie in the studio.
Why don't you bring her on for a special thing?
Could you? I mean, that interview.
She might even do it on camera.
Not to me, though.
Yes, you.
I
yes,
would never
you.
shave it.
No, I gotta see your face when she licks it.
I would never. People have. You know what was funny?
She might strap one on and try to stick you. She wanted to do that to I think it was Tito, but I'm not sure Tito Santana.
She did?
She wanted to
put a strap on?
Yeah, I'm not sure it was Tito.
Arriba!
I love Tito, man. He's the best. And so it probably wasn't him because he's one of the few guys that didn't mess around.
I've heard that. He was very loyal to his wife.
And him, I mean, Owen Hart never messed around. Macho never messed around.
Well, why would he?
And that's about it. Yeah. No, there was only like 4 or 5 guys, and I respect the hell out of that. I mean, because to me, you know, a marriage is, you know, God brought that together.
Well, it was like that story that aired on one of the most recent episodes I told you about at the Cauliflower Alley Club reunion in Vegas when one of the, she must have had a lot to drink to chase me down the hall, but one of the girls that was with TNA at the time followed me back to my, she wasn't in TNA.
No, I was just
followed me back to my hotel room.
I tried to trip him up. He liked Sasha.
I do. She's very nice. She was with us here in Boston wrestling before. Going on to much higher paying ventures in WWE.
Daytona 500 a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, she's doing good for
time this
herself.
show was a couple weeks ago.
All right, well, no, not really. It's Thursday night. It's still February. It's still chilly. Here in Boston, at least.
It's ice. I'll send y'all some pictures of that,
all right, well, we're looking forward to it.
It's snow-capped.
All right, one thing we need to catch
He fell on the ice. He busted his ass.
I told the fans about it
already.
I did. There was an ice storm, or there was ice of some kind that I didn't know about here at the studio. I locked the door. I turned around.
How could you not know about
I looked like Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern in Home Alone.
Oh, yeah.
All of a sudden, I was in the air. I landed on my neck and my head. And somehow this leg was bent, and it's killing me right now.
Yeah.
The bottom part of my right leg went back so far I could feel my heel on my ass cheek.
Man, that hurts.
So it was a Home Alone-like bump, I call it. I'm hurting. I'm as bad a shape as you.
If we could have videoed that, we could have made $1.
You know, it would have been funny to see, just like that cat video.
It wasn't funny at the time, but you know, later you can laugh at it.
After the fact.
Yeah.
And I remember my ride, I was screaming, "Help me, help me." And he goes, "It's all ice."
I would have videoed that.
My sandals were all over the sidewalk.
Hey, let me ask you something.
My cane made it to Main Street. What's that?
And actually, everybody, control room, everybody, I always have to ask this once in a while. And y'all at home, too. If you woke up and you had a dick in your ass and a dick in your mouth.
You've asked me this
Which one would you take out first?
I don't even know where to begin with that.
I asked Al Snow one time. He got mad. He goes, "Damn it, there's no right way to answer."
The thought of the anal violation is just a little too much for me. But then again, the other office doesn't sound like much fun either.
That's why. Which one you could take out first?
Let's get to the main topic. What is the show? Well, because it's been a while since.
By the way, we're going to be on TV later selling cards.
Well, those shows will have already passed by the time this airs, but. Why not?
So I'm wasting time.
You're wasting time, Marty. Right. As Marty tries to solicit his goods here on the show, we wanted to talk about
hold on, let me cover that up.
Some of the brothers that we've lost since the last time you were here.
Yeah,
I think it's very appropriate.
Well, I lost 2 close friends, but they're not, nobody would know them wrestling.
Well, wrestling people or friends in real life?
Real life.
Oh, you can send a shout out if you like.
Jeff Ullman, love you, brother. Don Jackson, love you, brother.
And hopefully they're in heaven.
You know what's crazy? Jeff was in good shape, good health. Rachel, his girlfriend, one of his girlfriends, or his, I don't know how to say it, Rachel, sorry. I'm just going to call you girlfriend. She texted me, and the daughter, Adriana, we call her Age, she texted me, and they had done that before. Well, now, Adriana, it's not his daughter, but he kind of adopted her, you know, when she was 7, and, you know, she's like 23 or something now. She texted me once before, and it was like a surprise birthday party, and I thought that was cool. You know, because they live in Arizona. You know, Jeff and I were roommates for a while out in Arizona. Then I went to Vegas, and then I moved back to Georgia. No, I'm actually in Alabama. Look, what did I tell y'all who's going to win the national championship? What I told y'all? Alabama.
Well, I have to see what Matt Daddy thought about that in his salmon pants.
Yeah. But I did call it, didn't I?
You did. You called it.
Yep, Alabama. And again, go ahead and be prepared for next year.
All right,
Win it.
well.
I guarantee it.
Sorry
I will
about.
put 5 fish fillets on it.
Very sorry to hear about the loss of your friend.
Yeah, so she called Adriana and texted me again, and I figured another surprise thing, you know. So the surprise parties cost you, man, because you got to get in the flight. You got to, you know, you spend a little money to surprise somebody. You know? Hey, your surprise is your wallet. Your wallet's like, nah, come on, man. But you know, so I almost was going to ignore it because I didn't want to say, oh, no, I can't afford it again. But then Rachel hit me up, and I thought, uh-oh. Now, they both, that Rachel's the girlfriend, you know, the mother of Adriana. And again, I thought, uh-oh, something's not right. And I kept thinking, when I called her, I kept thinking she was going to say he was in a bad car wreck, he's in the hospital. And
he was a younger man?
He was my age, 60.
That's young.
I don't know how old I am, 60, I think.
One.
How do you know?
Happy belated birthday.
Thank you, brother. But 60, or yeah, he was good shape. So I called her and I'm like, hey, what's up? She goes, I guess you know. And I'm like, and I'm still thinking car wreck. Because Jeff's indestructible. He's one of those kind. He's not going to die. But she said Jeff died. I'm about to cry right now on camera. But.
Well, it's tough when you lose a friend, you know.
Yeah, but,
especially in our fraternity, our brotherhood here in the King of Sports Professional Wrestling. Look at how quick they go. I mean, it's better than it was in the 2000s.
But you know what I don't understand, Dan?
What?
I said, what? It took me a couple minutes, just like right now. I'm sorry, I'll get up in a minute. It took a minute before I could even say anything.
I'm sure. You were shocked.
Yeah, because it was Jeff. And
how did you know Jeff? From what part of your life?
Orlando, when I had my house in Orlando, he was big time.
Was he a neighbor or just a
I
friend?
actually met him through Pat Tanaka.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Pat brought him over one time. When this is back, man, gosh, damn.
Early 90s?
Sorry, y'all. Yeah, early 90s.
That's understandable.
And, you know, back then we were partying, you know, and Pat partied probably harder than any of them but me. You know, Jeff partied, you know, Jeff was able to, there's something for all my damn drug freaks out there, because we don't do that no more, so we can talk about it now. When you start doing cocaine, you don't stop till you run out. Jeff could stop and there's still a pile left. Oh, you must not be getting the same effect as we are.
How often were you doing this cocaine, Marty?
And look, and I'm not doing it now. It's cold, and they're telling me it's cold.
It's in the 50s.
It's not bad.
It's in the 50s.
That's why I got this Falcons jacket. Next year. Next year. We there next year.
How often would you do cocaine, would you say?
Back in the day?
Every day?
Every day.
Every single day?
A bad day, when I say bad, I mean I didn't get it that much, was $500. We was doing.
You were spending $500?
No, 1,000 a day. 500. Here's how it worked. You go to the bank. Back then, you could only get 500 per day, a 24-hour period.
Yeah.
So I had to, like, if I had got something, you had to wait till after midnight to get another 500. And I did that. I sat there at that machine so many times.
Now, you're
waiting.
talking about Jeff or you that was doing that?
Well, I was but Jeff came by with Pat one time. And I thought he was a narc because he was a business dude. He's a multimillionaire.
Oh, really?
You remember that 5 cents a minute way back, IDT or some shit. But remember when you used to have to pay for about a minute?
Oh,
like
and he had one of those codes?
He came up with the one 5 cents a minute.
3, 2, 1 or something?
Yeah, so 5 cents a minute. He undercut everybody and fucking got rich off of it, you know. That shows you how much greed is out there. Everybody else worked their way down to 10 cents a minute. He said, hell with that 5. And wham.
And now it's nothing.
Yeah, now it's a whole different, they ain't even around no more. Uh-oh, red mask. Wrap it up? Okay.
No, that's just the signal. I think we've hit the 20-minute mark. Right now, fans, why don't we take a brief timeout? We come back, we're going to talk about some of the greats that have passed since Marty's last visit. Stand by. Wrestling fans, I'm Dan Mirade.
And this is the man of the hour, Leo Rush.
It's all over BostonWrestling.com and our social media. But Leo, brother, they got to check out some of this merch.
They got to.
Check it out, fans, right now, available on eBay.
Support Wrestling Insiders and keep wrestling legends working on eBay. Get this limited edition Bailey autographed Rob Schamberger outprint, one of only 50 made. A great addition to the collection of any Bailey fan, direct from WWE. Also comes with a mystery autograph photo and an on-air shout-out from WWE Hall of Famer Mr. USA Tony Atlas on Wrestling Insiders at your house. Get it now.
All right, wrestling fans, welcome back. We had that touching story from Marty, along with some potty stories as well, as you always get here on Wrestling Insiders Potty with Marty every Thursday night at 10. We've had some greats. We had some shocking deaths since you've last been in the world of professional wrestling. First, let's talk about a man that... No, we already did Road Warrior Animal.
We did that. We did him.
Yes. The natural Butch Reed passed away at the age of 66.
When?
Within the past week and a half.
Nobody fucking told me. Come on, man. Y'all didn't tell me. Holy shit.
You didn't even know?
No. Oh, I got to put my head down again.
What? Well, I know you probably missed Butch in WWF. He left right after WrestleMania 4.
We were boys.
But I mean, where would you? The Kansas City territory?
I had met him there first, but he was the natural. When I first went in there, he was the natural. Remember, he had blonde hair?
For that one
day natural
run,
no, it wasn't one day.
The 87 run.
Yeah, that's when we went in the first time.
Yep.
Yeah, but no, I've known Butch, man. I just saw him a year ago, man. We took pictures together at like a convention, a signing. Man, we love each other. That's another thing, Tony. That's a friend of yours. Ask him if I'm a racist. Damn it. I still love you, Tony, but you got to knock that damn racist shit off. That makes you a racist.
Well, anytime we lose one of those greats. I mean, I would have loved to have had Butch Reed in the studio to document his stories about his career.
He'd have been good.
What was he, a main event guy in WWF?
No. What happened?
He had 2 major heart attacks, and I think maybe a little COVID set in.
Well, they're going to put that on it.
So, rest in peace, Butch Reed. Any memories of Butch Reed?
You.
How did you know Butch? From what territories?
Well, I met him. I was in Kansas City. We wrestled in St. Louis every other Friday, and he used to come in from wherever he was at, and he was like a big star. And man, he was so nice to me. I don't know why he took to me. He liked me. Him and John Nord, if you remember Nord. I know when you do these things, you show a picture of him. Show that picture with the horns. You know when he went in as the Barbarian or something.
He was Nord the Barbarian. He was the Berserker.
Berserker. I'm thinking of Berserker. Yeah. And sorry, I will post this on my Facebook, so don't get mad at me for.
About what? Butch Reed?
No, just us.
Oh, just
cutting
us
up a while ago. But him and John Nord got in a fight, physical. Got into it. Bill Watts evidently put him up to it. Bill Watts loved, still probably does, loved to watch the guys go at it. And now I'm about to veer off story. I'll come right back to it, I promise. But there was a guy named Ed Carr Boo Thomas. He'd won 2 Tough Man contests. He was a bad boy. He was All-American at Oklahoma in football and wrestling, like Steve Williams was. Remember, Dr. Death. Ed Carr Boo Thomas is a bad. I don't know if I ain't seen him in 20 years, but bad boy. But Hercules and him got into it. Hercules Hernandez, remember Herc?
Oh yeah.
And I guess Herc whooped him up.
Really?
Yeah. And then they told Bill Watts, because he had to. He was all bruised up, so Watts like, what happened? He said, it was, what's his name? Dundee, Bill Dundee. What did he go by? Something other, Bill Dundee. But Bill Dundee, Herc got him, tore him up, and Bill said, that's impossible. He's won 2 Tough Men contests, and Dundee goes, yep. Well, Herc wasn't in them.
That's a good line. I like that.
But back to Butch. I mean, they got. I guess I wasn't there. I saw the results. I mean, Butch had a couple marks on him. So, and he's a bad boy. I heard he used to tear up the streets in Kansas City. But I'm surprised he ain't got a son in wrestling, or does he? I don't know
Reed?
about it. Yeah.
I don't, not that I've ever heard of.
Yeah, but they'd gotten into it, and John had a black eye, John Nord, He had a black eye, and Butch had, you know, some marks. So evidently, and they said they had pulled it apart. They were both still windmilling each other. And, you know, it kind of sucked. Like, the promoter got y'all to fight. And, but Butch, whatever reason, like I said, he liked me. And he came and talked to me, and he goes, evidently he felt like he won. I didn't want to have to do him like that. So that means that he felt like he got, you know, he won. Nord never talked about it. Nord just, I didn't like the fact that Bill had us do that. He finally, he caught the bigger part, like, the fuck would a promoter have two guys fighting like that? That's bullshit.
People have said that Nord would make for an interesting interview in this.
I promise y'all, Nord is the most fun. I mean, because he's out there, but he's in there.
You got a contact for him?
Yes.
No, maybe we'll reach out to him.
You want me to do it now?
Yeah, like I said, there's just, Marty, it kills me. You know, it means a lot to me to try and keep these guys working. And right now, again, the times suck. There's no independent wrestling events. There's very few autograph signings. Almost no conventions of any kind.
No, there's a few.
But not many.
Yeah,
I mean,
many.
compared to pre-coronavirus.
You know, it's supposed to go to England, Liverpool.
Yeah, I remember you were telling me that.
April, yeah, they
canceled.
Evidently, they're going to postpone it.
Yeah. Well, like
England's not doing that good.
Like we mentioned,
what we're seeing on TV, nah. Because
I
got a lot of a lot of friends over there, and they're telling me, like,
well, I don't have any girlfriends over there, but I'm friends with a couple of the indie guys over in England, and they told me it's not good.
Yeah, they're all locked down and shit.
Yeah.
They're doing worse than us.
So that's why
everybody want to give Trump a damn hard time. Hell, we were doing better than anybody else. They were like, yeah, but we got more damn cases. Yeah, we got more damn people. Shit, you gonna compare us to England? England's the size of Florida. Right? So they got 1,000 deaths. So we got 10,000 deaths. We got 330 million people too.
I just think it's so important that we get as many of these legends in this studio as possible. It has value.
Did you call Coco?
I still have to text him.
You want me to call him now? Let's call him on air.
Not on the show. No, because we got this.
Oh yeah.
This is kind of serious subjects on this episode.
Okay.
At least.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah, but
sorry,
but Butch Reed, 66, a young age. You know,
is that what he was?
66, yeah. Same age as Tony, as a matter of fact. So I wonder if that must have hit home with old Mr. USA.
I bet you it did.
I look forward to having Tony here to share his memories about Butch. But other than that fight with John Nord in the locker room down in Mid-South, did you ever travel with Butch? Did you ever hang out with Butch?
A couple times, couple of road shows. And you know, just the typical, have a few beers, talk some, war stories. But one of my memories was when Sean and I first came in. We got fired the next day. The first time we ever went in, he was going as a natural, Butch Reed, right? And I'm sitting at the table, with Davey Boy Smith, God rest his soul, Dino Bravo, gosh damn, everybody's dead. Damn. And it does start scaring you when all your boys around you are falling. My brother told me when you get to a certain age, your friends are going to be dying. But man, this is,
not
this.
At the rate that we have to
go and this has been going on for the last 20 years. There was from 2000 to 2002, there was 70 deaths of the boys. It was in the USA Today. Remember that old newspaper?
Oh yeah, that big article, yeah.
Yeah, and it was 70 of the guys. What's going on? They tried to blame Vince. Vince, how the fuck did he make somebody die other than Owen Hart? But damn, did I just say that? I did, didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
You're falling asleep.
No, I'm captivated.
Oh.
I'm interested I don't know much about Butch Reed, so that's why I'm really interested.
Well, and I don't have in depth, but we loved each other. Yeah, and we loved each other. Every time we see each other, especially the last years. It's been a year since I saw him, and it was at a convention, a signing in, I think, Allentown, Pennsylvania. Man, they got a great ass damn sports memorabilia place there.
Mm-hmm.
But and you know who else was there that I can't think of her name? Melon. I think she went to the ring. She was for Morrison and the other dude.
Melina.
That's it, Melina. man, she looks good. She's done her hair different, but she looked good. I always thought she looked good anyway, but she did her hair different. Like, damn. I'm sitting over there and me and her were like waving, and I'm trying to sign, and it's like, damn, can I go sit somewhere else? People were laughing about it too. Like they're getting autographs, and they'd see me staring at her, and they'd look over there, and they'd shake their head like, yeah, yeah, we understand. But Butch was there at that one, and that's the last time I saw him. It's been about a year. Well, we hugged up, man. We took pictures together, and you know, I mean, gosh, he was healthy. You know, he was happy. Well, I assume because you know he was laughing. He was cutting up. You know, and he would back in the day on the independents, not ever I didn't really see him that much, like you said, at WWE. I think I seen him for about, I don't know, 6 months, because he quit.
He was done right after you, right before
he
came in.
Yeah, he wasn't there long.
He finished up after WrestleMania 4 when he put over Randy Savage in the World Title Tournament. Yeah.
Yeah, because he didn't, and that was it.
He was, you know, he was supposed to get the run that Honky Tonk Man wound up getting, but he ran into issues with no-shows. Yeah.
How did Honky keep the damn belt 50? I love him. That's my boy. In fact, we should call him.
He'd be a funny. I've tried.
Oh, he'd be great. Trust.
I've tried, but
he will keep y'all laughing, man. Because he funds negative and makes it funny though. But he points out the negative shit going on.
Everything.
Yes, yes. We were over in, I think it was Ireland. And he was talking, no, Nova Scotia. It was up in Canada, North Canada. It was Nova Scotia. And he was talking shit about the promoter. Like, that motherfucker, he made all that goddamn money. We got 30,000 people out there, and he's just going to give us $500. You know, but you agreed to a contract ahead of time, you know, so you can't complain. But that motherfucker, let me tell you. And he walks by, right where he's getting motherfucked, right? He walks by and stands there, and I'm doing like this to the Honky, like, that motherfucker, he's a sorry ass, old Jew ass mother. and then he walks in, he goes, really? And Honky's like, I wasn't talking about you.
I think Honky would be great in this studio too.
He'd be great.
Think about it.
Let's call him.
At the end of the day, there's so many that would be great in this studio.
Yeah.
But Thursday night is your night.
Well, Honky won't try to overcharge.
What's that?
I got to tell you what I told Coco, just so it's out there and open.
All right.
Because I don't like to know nobody's numbers, just mine. I just need to know mine. When I help somebody get booked, I don't want to know how much. I don't care if it's more than me or less than me. I don't want to know. But I told him, you know, I said, don't go too high, but don't go too low. You know, now that's up to him. I don't know how y'all negotiate. You know, because with me and you,
we treat him with respect.
Right, and that's all. And that's basically what I was saying to him. I already told him he was a good guy.
Oh, good. Oh, I appreciate that.
I mean, I'll show you the text.
No, you know what? If my feelings towards you should have come to light with you when we had that issue the last time with the $100 that went missing. And you know, a lot of the guys...
Did you ever find that?
No.
Did you ever check?
He checked the card, DB.
No, up there at the hotel. Because remember, you thought you lost it.
You went and checked. Look, when you got back to the hotel that night,
you know who it was?
But you know...
You know who it was?
What?
Working the front when I went to check?
Your girl.
Yeah.
Your girl, Maria.
Don't say her name.
No, I'm talking about our friend in Pittsburgh. But here's the thing.
There is a Maria there.
I'd say 95% of the guys... I'd say they were trying to hustle me for an extra $100.
I don't need you, man.
But with you, I didn't doubt it for a second.
Yeah,
I had no doubt. And I think that says a lot. I think that shows in the chemistry that we have on the show that the fans enjoy so much, that there is, beyond the respect for your wrestling career that I have for you, it's just I genuinely like you as a human being. You know, you're a good guy.
You, man. I like you too. That's what I told Coco, and I've told a couple of guys.
All right, well, you know what?
I told the Nasties, I think. You know, he's...
Yeah, the Nasties did tell me you had mentioned it.
Yeah, I said he's one of the good ones, because there's a lot of bad ones out there. There really are. I hate saying that, but it's the truth.
The one thing I take pride in, Marty, and here we are now.
You said Marty.
In September, it'll be 20 years of Boston Wrestling MWF. 2 months
Who's been running it all that time?
Me and who we gave the birthday shout out to, Neil Manoli.
20 years, damn.
I was 2 months out of WWF. Ed Cohen didn't need me for anything else. They were done with me. So I said, you know what? I was getting ready to go.
Did you mess up?
No, it was in the middle of that when
Mutual
they bought WCW and ECW mess,
okay.
and there was so much confusion. But anyway,
You got a brush?
like Pat said, you got to use your fingers.
Hey, let me let y'all know something, because I look horrible.
2 months after that, I said, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to go for the gold. I learned from Ed Cohen, the second guy. Him and
He's still there, ain't he?
He's dead.
He died too?
He had cancer 4 times.
Damn, one wasn't enough.
Ed was in rough shape.
Damn, I didn't know that either.
Look at talk about learning from a successful individual.
Right.
He was running the live events department
pretty
back
good?
when they did A, B, C, and D tours.
Right.
I mean, sometimes he told me they had over 1,000 live events.
Yeah,
And he was in charge of them all.
You would do 300 something plus. We worked 300 days a year.
Yeah.
But we had over 300 matches because we did double shots. We did Peoria in the day, and
Multiple matches at TVs.
Did I tell you about up here in Connecticut area? One time we flew into Hartford, and we always did Hartford at night. And so I drove down to New Haven. Went to New Haven. I don't even know if Sean was with me. I think we'd already split off.
Mm-hmm.
But I know I had a girl with me. I can't remember.
This is a surprise.
All right.
Was the sky blue too?
It was actually white, like here in Boston, man. Ain't nothing but snow everywhere in Boston. You can't see nothing but white. But we drove down to New Haven because that's always the day show. I got down there early because 1 o'clock shows. They want you there an hour early, so you got to be there by noon. I got there by 11:30. Was so proud, like I'm early, and they said, "The show's tonight. You're in Hartford today."
God!
I had to turn around and shoot, and then I ended up being a little bit late.
Did you get a little fine? Or
No, I think it was Blackjack Lanza. Don't tell me he's died.
No, he's still alive.
Still good. No, he laughed it off because he knew that we always did New Haven Day. You do the smaller city, the day shot.
Right, for the matinee, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And then you do the bigger one.
Well, I tell you,
But they flipped it on me.
I feel bad.
Vince did say something to me. He goes, "Well, don't we give you a booking sheet?"
Well, and then there's that. But I feel bad that I lost contact with Ed over the years because I hold him even to this.
I really didn't know him that well. Was he a good dude?
Yeah, but you know what he'd always say to me? Anytime he'd give me some good scoops. Danny, I better not hear about this on the internet.
The internet changed everything, man.
Well, this you're talking 2000 and 2001. What's that?
Howard Finkel died.
Oh, yeah.
You knew that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because you said the internet, what made me think of it. Time. Was that 30?
Look at that. So that means, geez, we've already hit the 40-minute mark on this episode. So we got to get talking about these legends. Huh?
Did you say
the 40-minute mark.
He's got that Boston going on.
But no, so anyway, for my story.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
July of 2001, they didn't need me anymore. I went home, I was pouting, I was sad. I thought I'd be there forever.
You wanted to, yeah.
Of course. I was 21 years old. So I called my friend, I said, you know what? Because Tony Rumble, who broke me, and he also passed away.
So he died too?
He 1999. So I said, you know what? Let's go for the gold. We're going to start this. So we booked the arena that ECW used to run in the area.
Philadelphia?
No, right here when they run in the Boston area, Revere, Massachusetts. We booked Road Dogg.
Revere's a Hojo over there.
Yeah. Road Dogg, fresh off WWE TV doing DX. We booked Jerry Lawler, who we wound up losing because he was in the middle of his divorce.
Was he still dating Kat?
He was in the middle of the divorce from her.
Oh, they were actually married?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. I didn't know, Jerry. I'm sorry.
Superfly Jimmy Snuka.
We had a minute. I told you.
Who?
Kat and I.
I'm sure more than a minute.
2 days.
Percy told me he had a collection of Polaroid pictures.
Yeah. Oh my God. Do you know? No, I can't tell. I can't tell this on camera. I can't tell him that when she was 16. Yeah, I ain't gonna say that.
That's rough. Yeah, Jerry.
Pictures though. That's what made me pictures. Sean.
But
my partner was. Never mind.
Sean and Stacy at 16, really?
Well, no, she was up to 18 by then.
Oh, all right.
I think Jerry. I'm sorry, Jerry. I ain't saying. I'm sorry, Kat. Miss you. You ain't called me in over a damn month or two.
You hear from her that much?
No, not at all lately. I don't know if she's mad at me or something.
She's a very lovely lady.
I love her to death.
She did a fundraiser for us. I don't know if you've ever heard of the Mermaid Girl, Shiloh Pepin. She passed away. She was the United States only. She was a mermaid. Well,
oh, you mean she did conventions?
No, she was a kid, and this was a fundraiser. It was myself, the Cauliflower Alley Club, and Superstar Billy Graham put this together.
Yeah.
This poor girl, she was born
a mermaid. Oh, her feet were together.
Everything from the waist down. She had
together?
No ass, no woman
a
parts.
Fishtail.
She just
That's
everything
not true,
was,
though, man. That's impossible.
There's a documentary on, I think it's A&E.
And they say God don't make mistakes.
The poor thing. So what we did was right down the street at the venue we run at Memorial Hall, we did a fundraiser for her, and thank God we did it because.
By the way, let me apologize real quick. Sorry about that, God. I love God now.
Yes,
I didn't mean to say that. I shouldn't have said that. But that still is kind of weird. Why you let somebody be born like that?
I think she was 10.
That's even like two kids together with their heads like that. Why do you do that to people?
We ran a live event, and I don't even want to get in. There's so many stories. This whole event could be a story because of Superstar Billy Graham's involvement. But
is he alive?
He should have died about 15 times.
Yeah,
yes,
about 1980.
Yeah. But the poor thing, we did a fundraiser down at the street Memorial Hall. We raised enough money for it to go to...
Who blew their nose right here last?
I don't know.
Who'd you say sat here last?
Tony, I think.
Should I blow...
Filthy.
Should I trust him?
What is it?
I got to blow my nose.
Oh, my God.
Damn. Tony, you better be clean.
And we sent her to a kids' summer camp for the disabled. It was the first time she ever... Yeah, the Mermaid Girl.
What'd she do?
I don't know what they did at the camp.
Could she use her feet?
No, she was in a wheelchair, or if she moved, she had, because, I mean, everything from the waist down was just fused together, almost just...
I got to go see that documentary.
It's like, just picture a triangle upside down. And
yeah,
her
I got to
feet
go
were
see
like
that.
all wedged, and then...
Did she have a good attitude about it? Or did she like cuss? Sometimes I cuss God even though I love him.
She looked a little bit like J.R., but...
Oh, man. Wow. Damn.
But you know what's sad is we got her to the camp in the summer, and in October she passed away that year. She was on Oprah.
How old was she when she was?
10 or 11. She was a kid.
Oh, she was still, and she died young?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, it's just her...
Well, if her damn feet were glued together, probably interior wasn't that good either.
I still talk to her dad sometimes. His name is Elmer Pepin on Facebook. He's a good man. I think he's trying to work on a book about it. But I mean, can you imagine not only losing a kid that young, but to have had a life of where they do a documentary on your daughter, and it's called The Mermaid Girl. But I mean, that's the only thing they could equate it to.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
I mean, there was no genitalia of any kind. There was nothing.
Why'd you look?
Huh?
Why'd you look?
No, I mean, these are some of the facts about her body. Oh. It's the only case they know.
How did she poo-poo?
She must have had a bag, I imagine, or something.
Or maybe on her side or something.
Yeah.
Like George Steele had. Did I tell you about that?
Hopefully Davy Boy didn't get the pin out.
I did tell you.
You told us that one. But Shiloh, we wish you were with us too. My God, she would be now 20. Almost drinking age.
20?
Yeah, she would be about 20, 2009, so yeah, she would be getting ready to be a drinking age. She'd really be giving Elmer a hard time.
See, why you worry about her drinking? You want to look at her genitalia.
There's nothing to look at.
Well, you should know that.
Well, it was in the documentary. Oh. Elmer was talking about it.
All right, you get it past this time?
If the father can talk about it. Oh, we're going way off track.
Yeah, where were we?
Take a brief time out. We're going to talk more about Fallen Brotherhood.
Are we about to do a commercial?
Yeah. Wrestling fans around the corner, around the world, I'm Dan Mirade.
And I'm Mr. USA WWE Hall of Famer Tony Atlas.
The road to WrestleMania has begun. Wrestling fans are looking to add to their man caves. You got to see what we have in the eBay store.
Check it out.
Support Wrestling Insiders and keep wrestling legends working on eBay. Get this limited edition WWE NXT Johnny Gargano personally autographed 11x14 comic book style poster, a great addition to the collection of any Johnny Wrestling or NXT fan direct from WWE. Also comes with a mystery autographed 8x10 photo and an on-air shout-out from WWE Hall of Famer Mr. USA Tony Atlas on Wrestling Insiders at your house. Get it now. All right, wrestling fans, welcome back as we continue this journey, trying to talk about some of the fallen brothers. I guess this is going to turn into an extended episode at the length we're at. We also lost a man, you talk about amazing, like the Mermaid Girl, but as far as feats of strength go, we lost Danny Hodge.
I did hear that one, though.
Now, I mean,
I didn't ever know him.
Crush an apple with his hand.
Yeah, did you? Yeah, that's easy, though. You stick your fingers in there, and you kind of puncture. I've done that one.
You've crushed an apple with your hand,
well,
like
I don't know
Danny
about
Hodge?
crushing it, but yeah, I broke it.
Where
you
a
stick your
juice
fingers.
Came out?
Yes. Well, yeah, it separates like. But you stick your fingers in, they'll break through, and then you squeeze it. It looks like you just took it.
Really?
It's tricks to everything. Do you know you can't break an egg? Y'all can't break an egg.
You can't break an egg.
No.
Now, how
if
is
you take it, put the small part in towards your fingers, not the bigger part. You know, the smaller end, put that there. Go ahead and try it. You can go do it now. You're not going to break it. Don't curl your fingers in like I just said about the apple. No, just squeeze it. Squeeze an egg. I almost said fucking. I did say that.
You did say it. Yeah, that's all right. Well, we're not responsible for any damaged clothing, folks. If you decide to
or
try
carpet.
Marty's egg trick.
You can't. I promise you.
Any memories of the late Danny Hodge?
No, I never met him.
You never even met Danny
No,
Hodge?
I've just seen
really?
pictures. That's about it. Jerry Oates, guy that trained me.
Yeah.
He was a big. He loved him. Yeah. I didn't know. I don't even know much about him. But
I believe him and the Hulkster are the only two wrestlers to ever grace the cover of Sports Illustrated.
Really?
Yeah.
Danny got on there?
Danny got
on the
cover.
Hulk did. I remember. I think I got that at the house.
Yeah, he had that lightning bolt background behind him. I think that was '85.
By the way, this might look like a toy for a girl, but that's not what it is.
Oh.
I had to brush. Thank God the director in there came and gave, because I left everything at home. I'm so ill prepared, and I apologize for that.
That's all right.
I left my tooth. I got paper in there again. I mean, I went to all the trouble to get a tooth.
We're used to you being a mess when you show up. Don't worry.
Not this bad. I left everything at home. I don't even think I left swaggy food. But
all right.
I got to get my brother to go feed him.
You didn't bring him.
I did. Parts of them. Look.
Well, yeah. What was I going to? All right. On to, I guess, real no Danny Hodge memories.
No, I don't.
Nothing. All right. Well,
no, I never met him. Not
unfortunately, he
did
passed.
You?
I met him at Cauliflower Alley Club reunions.
Did you talk to him?
Just a bit. I tell you this though, you wouldn't want to shake his hand.
Why?
He
got a grip.
He trained his
calluses.
The rest of his body, not so much. But there was he would train his hands.
The old schoolers did that.
But I mean, for him to literally, I don't know if he used your trick, but he could squeeze an apple so the juice would come out of the bottom of it. All right, well, you know more. I've never done it.
I guess I'm sneaky. I'm always trying to look behind the scenes.
We may get an apple for you to try and squeeze here on the show.
Get an egg.
I don't want to get the egg.
It won't break. I'm telling you, don't be afraid to try it. You're not going to break it.
All right.
It don't matter what kind of grip you got. You will not break. The small end towards the fingers, though. Remember, put the egg like this is.
What do we got?
Oh, it's Coco. You want to talk to Coco? Not right now. Let me just say.
Tell him we're actually taping. Why not?
Hey, we got to call you back, man. We're right in the middle of taping.
Tell him we say hello and we welcome him into Boston.
What girl?
What?
Oh yeah, we did. Yeah, I met her last night.
Oh God.
Oh, all right. We on camera. I'll call you back. All right. All right. Bye. All right. Bye. Sorry about that, y'all.
Was he with Frankie?
Do you know them girls would go to his room just to see Frankie back in the day?
Yeah, and then I bet there was a little flying.
There might have been. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, Pam. Hey.
The feathers.
Pam was a beautiful black girl that loved. Well, I can't be saying all this on camera, can I?
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I better not. But no, because I think she married one of the boys. I know exactly who. I don't know if they married. If they did, if they're still together, I'm not going to say another word because we love him, man. He did the sidewalk slam. You know who it is.
Oh,
yeah. Don't say it. Don't say it.
I won't. I know exactly who you mean.
Yeah, that's my brother. I love him to death.
She liked Frankie at one point.
Everybody liked Frankie.
All right, well, Coco got a little attention.
Coco, one time
Coco got a little hot Coco.
Yeah, he got mad at Vince once over his pay.
Yeah.
He goes, God damn, I'm going to have to shake and bake Frankie to eat. You're not paying us right. Shake and bake Frankie.
Well, he's very well spoken. He had a long run.
Oh, did you ain't had him here yet?
No,
Coco.
but it'd be very.
He'll be. Oh yeah, he's got some stories.
Anyone that was around in that era, I think the fans want to hear their stories.
Hey,
nostalgia is cool right now.
One of my favorite Coco stories was South Philadelphia. I've probably already told this.
I don't recall this one.
Well, we went to the hood to get some stuff.
Yeah.
And you know, back then well, I'm sure they probably still do, but little capsules. Blue was a 10, red was a 20 piece. And
now, what do you, I don't. It's someone that's not a
cocaine,
drug guy.
and cocaine and freebase smoking. And some people call it crack. I don't know.
Dave and I are learning a lot tonight. Our director in the back.
But so you go through the hood, man, and I'm the white guy. First of all, we stopped the first place. Coco said, "Stay in the car, don't get out." You know, because I'm white as hell. They know what's up. But he's trying to get a better deal. You know, because brothers sell brothers better than they'll sell white people. You know, they're gonna rip that motherfucker. Don't let me cuss.
You can say whatever you want. It's after 10 o'clock, brother. We're pushing 11
Oh,
at
so
this
the
point.
motherfucking time. But they come running up to, well, the first time was so funny because I'm sitting there, I'm the only white guy in there, and it wasn't the best neighborhood. You know, you can actually see the gat, you know, sticking in some of them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you can see them walking by like, God damn. Shit, don't let me piss them off. Don't let them see me, God. Don't let them see me. But old Coco's over there. And I hear he's talking to some guys, and I hear, "You ain't no Coco goddamn beware, you too goddamn small." I'm fucking dying laughing. Coco got so mad. He got so mad they called him too short. And he showed him, he had his bird watch. He did that in Tokyo. I got another story.
All right.
But let me finish this.
We're going to have to turn this into a two-part show, but that's fine.
Coco, he was mad as hell. He got back in the car, he speeds off. They didn't sell him. They didn't give him
He
nothing.
didn't even get the cocaine at the end of it. He was that insulted.
He got
mad.
He
didn't get the coke.
Yeah, they said, "You ain't no Coco beware." If they actually said, "You ain't no Coco goddamn beware," that's what he got so mad. But so we got in the car, went around the block.
Yeah.
And then, you know, now they see me, so they know white boy in the neighborhood, that means buying shit. And it's like sharks, man. They your lunch meat, you know what I mean? They rolled the window down, and they're sticking their hands in trying to be the one to sell, you know. And the one guy's got his hand there, it's all full of capsules. Coco goes, he hits it, the shit goes all over, and he hits the gas. We got shot at, man. It was a rent-a-car.
They shot it?
Yes. He shot the back window out. Window shot a hole through it, I mean. But, man, Coco. South Philadelphia is not a place to play.
Well, I like to go and get the subs when I'm down there. I like the steak and cheese sandwiches. Yes, they're very good. But
good.
You and Coco weren't looking for subs.
We found some subs.
Where did you get?
I just thought that was funny, man. He knocked the shit off the car and took off. Except we got shot. That some bitch was in the middle of the window. It went between the two of us.
How did you return the rent-a-car with bullet holes
Coco
in
did that. I didn't.
Right.
Well, what do you do? Take the rent-a-car back. So we rode through the wrong neighborhood. They shot at us.
Did you wind up getting what you needed somewhere else?
No, we got that when he hit the hand. What are you talking about?
No. When he hit the hand, the bag.
All the stuff was there. It was like little capsules. When he hit it, it went all in the car.
But I mean, did you want? Oh, they went in the landed in the
car.
car.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes, that's why they shot at us when he.
Well, I understand the gunfire now.
Yeah.
At this point. Marty, I tell you the story. We started to talk about Danny Hodge breaking apples, and we end on Coco Beware's and Marty's cocaine adventure in South Philadelphia being shot at.
He didn't mean it like that. He didn't mean cocaine. It was just some kind of powdery substance.
Yeah.
But it was rocked up, though. They call it free base.
All right. Well, wrestling fans, again.
We don't do that no more. Davey Boy said we don't do any less either.
You plateaued.
Yeah.
You plateaued.
Yep.
All right, wrestling fans, we're running out of time on this episode. We went longer than expected. We're going to have.
We didn't talk about 1989.
We still have. There's a lot we got to talk about before we even get back to '89. We're going to take a little break in our timeline. There's so much going on with Marty, so much going on in the wrestling world. For my friend here, Marty Jannetty, we will be back next Thursday night at 10 p.m. Don't forget, tomorrow night at 10, when the lights at the Thunderdome go off for SmackDown, John Cena Sr.'s dome is just lighting up.
When will this air?
This will air on Thursday.
This coming?
Correct.
Alabama just won a few weeks ago.
Well. All right, for Marty, Jannetty, I'm Dan Mirade. We'll see you next week as we continue to talk about some of the great brothers we lost recently. Until we speak again, you and yours, stay healthy, be well. Good night.
Love y'all.
The World Wrestling Federation was live at PNE Coliseum in Vancouver, British Columbia, Monday, February the 25th, 1985. In the opening contest, Gama Singh beat Moondog Spot. Buddy Rose with the win over Pat Patterson. Bret Hart defeated the Spoiler. The Iron Sheik victorious over the Cobra. Tito Santana beat WWF Intercontinental Champion Greg the Hammer Valentine via disqualification. And in the main event, Andre the Giant and Mr. USA Tony Atlas, who replaced Blackjack Mulligan, defeated Big John Studd and Ken Patera in a Texas Tornado match. If you were in Vancouver live, share your memories in the comments section below. Use the links in the description box to keep Wrestling Legends working in our eBay store and on our acclaimed Patreon streaming service so we can bring you more interactive superstar shoot interviews to relive the good old days of professional wrestling. Check it out. Boston Wrestling Sports in the MWF explodes into a new year with professional wrestling content galore and need you to join our family. Every Tuesday night at 10 p.m. after our Monday Night Raw review, it's Wrestling Insiders at your house with WWE Hall of Famer Mr. USA Tony Atlas. Wednesday nights at 10 p.m. after NXT and AEW, join rotating legends on Wrestling Insiders Special Edition. Every Thursday night at 10 p.m. after our NXT and Dynamite review, it's Marty Jannetty's no-holds-barred sex, drugs, and rock and roll journey on Wrestling Insiders Party with Marty. Friday night after SmackDown, don't miss John Cena Sr.'s Wrestling Insiders Fabulous Fridays. Plus, look for classic clips, history videos, bonus live episodes, pay-per-view, watch-alongs, and more. For less than a cup of coffee at Starbucks, get early ad-free access to our Wrestling Insider talk shows, our acclaimed studio shoot interview DVD library, and help keep wrestling legends working during the worst of times. Join our growing family at patreon.com/Boston Wrestling. Expect the unexpected in 2021.
Wrestling fans, I'm Dan Mirade.
And this is the man of the hour, Leo Rush.
It was all over BostonWrestling.com and our social media. But Leo, brother, they got to check out some of this merch.
They got to.
Check it out, fans, right now available on eBay.
Support Wrestling Insiders and keep wrestling legends working on eBay. Get this limited edition Bailey autographed Rob Schamberger art print, one of only 50 made. A great addition to the collection of any Bailey fan, direct from WWE. Also comes with a mystery autograph photo and an on-air shout-out from WWE Hall of Famer Mr. USA Tony Atlas on Wrestling Insiders at your house. Get it now.
Marty, we have fun every Thursday night, whether it be the episodes, whether it be the great interaction we have with the fans during the live premiere Thursday night at 10 when they talk with us in the little chat box.
Just so I can just say it right now, I enjoy doing that, even for the ones that put me down. I mean, I still enjoy doing that, but I'm so slow, like, you know, I'll be answering one in like 30 minutes the show went by.
Yeah. Well, if you're not a
I
fast
enjoy
typer,
that,
what are you going to do?
You know, my favorite thing in the world, we just spoke about it, is when somebody's dogging me. No, when somebody, Norma Maria, leave her alone. It is when somebody's dogging me out and then I get on there and say something and all of a sudden they're like, oh my God, hey, oh, I'm a big fan. They just went from dogging the shit out of me to like, oh man, I love you. Yeah, okay. But it's happened over my 30 years. I mean, in person is when it's the most fun. Somebody be talking shit about me and I'm just happen to walk around and like, hey, how you doing, bud? Oh my God, oh hey. And then as soon as I walk away, then they go back talking shit about me.
The wrestling world is an interesting place.
It is that.
It is an if it is Rodney King said, why can't we all just get along?
Yeah, can't we all
you
just
know
get
what
along?
I mean? Imagine if everybody's focus in the business was to try and work as a team unit to try and build the best industry possible, but where it's an independent contractor type situation, that makes it kind of difficult.
Yeah,
that's a different story for a different time.
You know, and by the way, the wolf just died.
I'm sorry about that. I remember you posted that.
Yeah, man, I loved him. That was like
now, was that your cat?
Yeah.
Oh, you really don't mention him all that much. It's
well, because I got Swaggy too now.
Yeah.
You know, Swaggy, and Swaggy still, but I learned so much from them. I know that sounds silly, but you know, cats are they look very independent. You know, when they were little, they loved up on me. Once they got about 2 years old, get away from me. Feed me. That's all they want. But I learned from them. They got knowledge.
They have knowledge.
Yeah, cats used to be gods way back in the old days. They ain't forgot that.
Did you know that I have a phobia of them?
Cats?
I am
You
absolutely
need to meet Swaggy then.
terrified
I'll bring him
of
next
cats.
time.
Over the summer, during coronavirus times, when we couldn't do things in studio, I think I told you, we took portable equipment and we taped at Tony's home.
Told me that, yeah.
We were on his porch.
That had to be different.
It's very different. We were on his porch one day, and if you ever saw the raw footage, you'd piss yourself. This cat climbed up the back of his, and you gotta remember how bad my vision is. The cat ran out in front of us and stopped.
Black cat?
It was a black cat.
See, now that's racist.
And I started going, Tony, what the fuck is that? What the fuck is that? You go, that little kitty. I said, get rid of it, get rid of it.
Get rid of it.
And Glantz was there.
You should have fed it.
Tony had his door open, and the cat ran into Tony's home. Glantz, then Tony got pissed the cat was in his house, and Glantz had to find the cat in Tony's
That had to be a
house.
hell of a-
That's
Y'all got that on
classic-
tape?
Yeah, oh yeah, the
Oh
whole
God,
thing.
that's a good one, man.
If I mean,
There was a blooper reel?
You've seen how a woman reacts if they see a snake or a mouse or
Yeah.
something like that. That's how I am with cats.
That's
you
how
could
I-
bring in a pit bull and it wouldn't faze me. I love dogs.
You know, Tony, I think he got scared. Remember Jake had that big ass snake, Damien?
Yeah.
I think.
Oh, he tells a very funny story about
Does
that.
he? Yeah, 'cause I
One
think-
time he was, I guess he shared a room with Jake and he was doing a number 2, and all of a sudden he looked up.
There's a snake in the bathtub. He had to raise it up.
I packed my bags and I went and got my own room.
Hey man, one time he used to keep him in the showers, like dressing room showers, like to keep him wet, you know, to get him cooled off. I was never afraid of him, you know. In fact, I held him, played with him. And stuff.
Really? You didn't mind the snakes?
Yeah, I didn't mind, but except one time I went in the bathroom. I'm taking a shower there. You know that post has got showers going all around it.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there and getting water squirting on him and getting good and clean. And I look up, that motherfucker's raised up like this and looking at me. I'm like, no, goddamn. I ran out. I didn't even grab my towel. I ran out in the dressing room. Jake, something's wrong. I mean, he was up like from the floor. He was up about this high, just looking at me.
Well, what was the problem? Did Jake explain or no?
No, he said he likes you. He said he's trying to get eye view with you.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well,
but I didn't know that.
Well, and you know what? I wouldn't have wanted to stick around to find out either.
Yeah, in case he's wrong.
I tell you, the fans got a big kick out of that story you told on one of our recent episodes when the Davy boy decided to flip the bag in the air, and then
over and over too, like 4 or 5
once
times.
it came time for the match, the snake jumped out of the bag and bit Andre, and the tooth you said was in his chest.
It stayed in there because he come. Oh, snake bit me. And there's a little, just like one little stream of blood, a little thing. And somebody, so we all look and they're like, his tooth is still right there. He goes, pulls the tooth out of his chest.
My God, most people would pass out and he got a chuckle out of it.
What about when Randy had that one snake chewing on him? Remember when we used to call it up in the road?
That's one, I tell you this, one of the great angles I think in wrestling history. I remember as a kid watching that. That was 92. No, 90, late 91, so I was probably 11 at that point. Even then, I was just
11?
Yeah, I was so creeped out by that. But what a great angle. It made you want to see
that snake couldn't have done better, man. I mean, he sat there and chewed on his arm.
Yeah.
And Randy didn't care. Randy just wanted to, that storyline, the angle to go good. That snake could have got him all in the face and shit. He wouldn't have cared.
We're going to get to that once we get to your chronological order. It may be a decade from now. But I tell you, that's the feud that should have gone into WrestleMania.
This was only going to be a 30-second outtake, wasn't it?
No, these are just short little wrap-arounds. We can talk a little bit. But I tell you, that feud should have gone to WrestleMania 8. That was so hot.
I forgot what happened.
Well, they put it on the house show loop, and usually once it's on the house show loop, that doesn't get to the pay-per-view.
They didn't used to care, though.
It was like Hogan and Flair. That should have been WrestleMania 8's main event.
I found that you're going to have to show it at one of the, maybe on that, when you do the weekends, the Saturday.
Yeah.
That match I told you about, Sean and I, was a jump start, and we went 15 minutes, 20 minutes.
With who?
It was me and Sean against each other.
Against each other.
Yeah,
okay.
There's the one where, man, we jump started the McNichols Arena.
In Denver.
Yeah. And the fans were on their feet, because we had this thing, he threw me through the window, right? So here I come and bam, I mean, we started off hot, right out of the box, and we never slowed down for like 15, 20 minutes. And I mean, the people were on their feet the whole time. I remembered being there, but I didn't get to see it. and somebody home videoed
camcorder?
it and heard our show because I talked about it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and they sent it to me.
Oh, you know what?
Oh my God!
I wish they sent it to us too. We could.
Well, I'll bring it or send it to you. Forward it up to you.
Oh, cool.
But yeah, man, it was. I was like, damn, I used to be pretty good.
Well, you know,
I know Sean was good, but damn, I was pretty good too.
Our goal with this crazy man is to break down his time in WWF. We've been doing it now every week since July. And we're about halfway through 1989.
Yeah, we ain't got 3 years in yet.
But that's what makes Party with Marty so much fun, as you saw in the most recent episode. As we wrap up this week's episode.
Somebody complained about that too.
What's
that?
You know,
on the typing in, I was watching it.
What'd they say?
They said, well, Jesus Christ, they're not even in 1989 yet.
Well, did they want the series to end quick? Come on now, folks. Yeah. But as we wrap up this week's episode, we have... I don't know if you'd call it an affair right now, but there's a little lust in the air. Are you familiar?
You talking about Maria again?
No. This doesn't have anything to do with you. Are you familiar with the reality show on USA, Ms. and Mrs., with Ms. and Maurice? Well, John Cena Sr. and Maurice's mother, Margot, have had a little Margot going on.
Maybe you should start it right out here.
A little, what's the dessert called? The little French creme brulee.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I had a choice last night, and I put it on Facebook. I said, and I had a big piece of pizza, you know.
I saw it.
You saw that?
I saw the picture. It looked
pizza?
pretty good. I wanted some.
Oh, it was great.
Was
man.
it good?
Oh my God, it was good. It cost about $50, but it was good.
Oh yeah, I don't get that.
Yeah, well, double meated.
Believe it or not, Knobs complained about
the price.
Yeah.
Oh,
I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, I mean, it was.
I couldn't believe it.
When's the last time you get a $50 pizza? But I did give it $10.
It should be pretty good for $50.
Well, $40, $10 for the tip.
Did they come to the room at least?
Yep.
Oh, well, all right then. That's
they
different.
came all the way to the room.
But anyway, folks, as we wrap up this week, again, there's a little bit of lust in the air, almost like that angle with Hogan and Savage and Elizabeth.
When you say that.
John Cena Sr. and Margot Ouellette.
Well, let them have the reality show right here.
What I'm waiting for is for one of the episodes where the Miz or Maurice opens the door and Johnny's in the bed with Margot. I'm waiting for that, but you know what? Who knows?
You never know.
Wrestling fans, as always, every Friday night when the lights in Tampa at WWE's Thunderdome go down, the dome on John Cena Sr.'s head lights up every Friday night at 10 p.m. Stand by for this week's Wrestling Insiders Fabulous Fridays. Stand by. Hi, wrestling fans. Welcome to another Wrestling Insider Fabulous Fridays. What a week it has been. We began with Tony Atlas on Tuesday talking about the Tyler Rex transformation. On Special Edition Wednesday night, Brian Knobs discussed WWF in 1991. Last night, Marty Jannetty attempted to discuss several of the great veterans that have passed away recently, but the GPS in Marty and Tony's brains travels in ways that technology was never intended to sometimes.
Well, I'm sure eventually they got there. They just took a different route to get there.
Exactly. It may have taken them through different parts of the country and maybe even different countries, but they got to the final destination.
Yep.
And we have now on Sundays, for the podcast style, Atlas World News.
You know what? You got to check out the last edition of the Atlas
World News. Which was
World
technically
News.
the first one.
Yeah, it was great, I'm telling you. Tony, no holds barred. Talk about professional wrestling. Let's talk about world affairs. This man has something to say about everything. You can't miss this.
I had to actually scold him on the episode, Johnny.
Why?
The last time he was here, the day after, I got barked at a little bit because he left his half-open can of Sprite, wrappers from Fortune Cookies, and fingertip-touched duck sauce from his chicken wings that he had, like it was a smorgasbord.
So no, with the COVID, you've got to be very careful in what you're doing. We're trying to keep the disease down. We want to be good for WrestleMania. We want the live events to come back. So, all right, you took the scolding, maybe justly so.
Well, maybe Tony should just be, act like he's 3 and throw it away himself.
That's why we have people. Well, no, that's why we have people in the studio.
Oh,
remember, Tony is a Hall of Famer. He's a professional wrestler. He's a great guy. He's a great human being. So you know what? When it's over, have somebody pick up.
When you reach Hall of Fame status, you don't have to throw your fortune cookie wrapper away.
When you reach Hall of Fame, you don't need a hot fortune cookie.
All All right. Well, he already cast the fortune cookie.
Ah, okay.
All right. Now I understand. All right, wrestling fans. Ton of questions from you guys. We're going to try and put them together in themed episodes. Johnny, by the time this episode airs, it will be this coming Wednesday night. What a unique match. They have a headlining AEW Dynamite from Daly's Place, named after your good friend Ursula Daly down in Jacksonville, Florida. It'll be Cody Rhodes teaming up with a newcomer to the sport that I don't think I've ever seen once, Red Velvet, taking on Jade Cargill in Shaq. What are your thoughts of the big man having his first official bell-to-bell matchup?
All I'm going to say is this. Shaq's a big, big man. You are putting a giant against two Davids. This is just, you know what? I guess I got to come right out and say it. It doesn't belong in professional wrestling.
You're going to upset some AEW fans.
I don't
Johnny.
really
Why
care.
don't you feel this belongs?
Well, you know what? This is, well, I guess it's entertainment, so to speak. But you know what? Shaq is a well-known basketball player. He's the man of the hour. He does his thing. He knows his thing. Now you're going to take this, and I mean this giant, this gentle giant, by the way, and put him in this ring against professional wrestlers. You know
you're
what?
also including two very, very new, untested women in this match.
That's very right.
Which I think makes it an even bigger chance for it to blow up in their face as an in-ring disaster.
Well, here's what's going to happen. Knowing Shaq the way we do, right? Do you think he's going to bang a woman, knock her in the face, pick her up and give her a body slam? So really what we have is Cody Rhodes against Shaq O'Neal, and the two women will do their battling. Look at the size of Shaq's hands. Paul Wright, Big Show, Andre the Giant. Let's take a look at the reality here. It's like a Beanie Baby. See you, Cody. Wow. 7th row. Bye. Oh, and by the way, put the points on the board. I got a basket. No, I'm not into this.
Do you think, who's going to be the heel in this match, maybe is the better question. Do you think the fans in Florida would want to boo Shaq where he is a Orlando Magic legend?
I still think Shaq's going to be the face unless they tweener him, and then all of a sudden we get Cody come out as a face. Cody's been a heel there. Why would you want to change him?
I think he's been the face of the company.
Yeah, but he is the face of the company. There's no question about it.
So who do you boo?
I would think that it's going to be Cody Rhodes that's going to get booed.
This is, I go back to Johnny now, I hate to say it because I think you and I both have wanted to see AEW do well, but the quality and the thought process of part of these shows has been bad, and it's been getting worse in my opinion. Again, you usually have 1 or 2 segments, matches per show that I think are excellent. I think they're pay-per-view quality. I think they're exceptional, sometimes better than the best part of the WWE shows that week. On the flip side, they continue to put segments on that I don't understand the logic, the common sense, or the quality behind them. I wouldn't put them on an independent show, never mind on TNT cable television.
Well, you know, you're right. Some of the things they've done, like, why is Khan on camera? He can't speak, can't promote, let him spend his money, run the wrestling business the way he should, and let the professionals do what they do best and promote the business. He just doesn't add anything to it. If anything, when he comes on, I change the channel. There's just nothing there. There's no excitement. You'll never know who's going to show up next. You'll never know who's going to show up next. A little enthusiasm would help promote it.
Well, his involvement on the actual AEW TV show has been very, very minimal, to be fair.
Yeah, but when he's trying to push the upcoming suspense, who's coming next? Impact, New Japan, Boston Wrestling, WWE. You don't know, Tony. You know what? They started out great. They have a real nice product. They were answering what the fans wanted. Wrestling. They were putting it out there. Now they're coming up with the gimmick matches. You know what? I'm going to tell you something. This was a big complaint way back when Big Show took on the Boxer, and you could see his trainer come out with the brass knuckles around his throat. I mean, you knew exactly what was going to happen. And Show did the job for this young man, which I think is admirable. Doesn't make any sense to me. Big Show would have picked him up and squashed him like a bug.
If it was a shoot?
If it was, oh yeah, it would have been over. You know, it would have been over.
I don't know. I think all it would really take is one good shot from Mayweather, and I think Big Show.
You got to get it first.
Tampa.
You got to get it
first.
And you would never do it. Show's reach and size of his arms. Why do you think they would stand so far away? They didn't want Mayweather to get hurt. Period. And now you get Shaq O'Neal. Shaq O'Neal, who's been involved before, by the way.
He was in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal at WrestleMania 32 in front of 100,000 plus in Dallas, Texas.
That's right.
He's done a couple of Raw, at least one Raw appearance I can think of off the top of my head.
So he's not new to this. But
he's new to it, but it's not his first rodeo.
Right.
He's still a relative newcomer to what we do.
But what do we do? We train people to work in the ring. That's what we do. We provide entertainment. So no matter, I don't know how to take what you're saying, you know, he's not new. He's been involved. He understands what we need, what it takes to make it work. Whether it's going to work with Cody, young lady, Shaq, young lady, I see a female bout, and I see Cody Rhodes against Shaq. Maybe we'll have 4-on-4, you know, where they all come in the ring and the referee loses control. And maybe Shaq snaps, becomes the new heel. Who knows? What do you do with a man of this caliber? Where do you put him?
I don't understand the whole premise of it. I understand that AEW is looking to try and get new eyeballs to sample their product. Is a 48, 49-year-old Shaquille O'Neal the recipe to make that supper happen? Do you think you'll get a lot of new eyeballs tune in to see Shaq, where it has been discussed on some of TNT's NBA programs? Games.
Sports Illustrated will pick it up. I mean, you get other stuff that'll be picked up.
Would that make you want to go out of your way to see it if you weren't a wrestling fan?
I'm not interested in that match.
So you're a wrestling fan and you're not even interested in it?
I could care less about that match.
Right.
I have no. That's just going to be. I bet you that's going to be a 2 or 3 month storyline.
Well, I say this, and this is going to come up sometime soon on this show about Lacey Evans, but we'll wait for that. With Brandy Rhodes, maybe the saving grace is that she did become pregnant, because I think she's a lovely lady, but she is one of the worst personalities in all of professional wrestling. She doesn't offer much of anything other than what her last name is, in my opinion. The wrestling isn't there. The announcing wasn't there. The promos weren't there. They keep trying to come up with these over-the-top scenarios for her where she's either the Stephanie McMahon of the company or she's almost like Alexa Bliss. She was the leader of this possessed troupe with Awesome Kong and Luther, and it seems like everything they've put her in has just been a flop and a complete and utter disaster. Again, maybe if there is a saving grace, maybe it's that she can't take away from whatever presence Shaq brings to the ring when he's in there with Mr. Rhodes.
Well, I think part of your situation is going to be this also. You really don't have a crowd there.
Oh, no, they do.
Well, no, a crowd.
A big crowd.
Yeah, that's what's going to get the pop for Shaq, if he's there. So, you know what, again?
You don't think 750 is enough?
What's that?
You don't think 750 is enough? Well, I mean, to people that have worked in front of no one, 750 is a pretty good house.
I'm not arguing that. I worked in front of 10.
Yeah, well,
I drove all the way up to Maine.
We're not talking coronavirus times.
No, I'm talking no corona time. All the way up to Maine, way up there, and worked in front of 15 people. But it's not how many you work in front of, it's the ability to perform. And that's key. And like I say, wrestling fan, non-wrestling fan, when you try to bring this all together, unless what they're trying to do is find their giant. Find their giant. And, you know, I just don't think it works. If they're looking for a giant, I've got several friends. 6 foot, 6'6", huge, perfect, great. You want somebody that can wrestle, look the part? There you go.
You know,
in their early 30s. Yeah, I have several friends like that.
And where do you know all of these giants from?
Well, it's a long story. But I did a couple of weddings. One of the best men was so big he couldn't button his collar. He was 6'5", huge hands. This guy was unbelievable. And but he said to me, quote unquote, I make more money on YouTube doing raps.
What does he do on YouTube?
He does raps.
He's a giant rapper.
He just raps. He makes a lot of money. And you know what? I just think that there's room.
Do you know how to get a hold of this man?
Yeah, I do.
Well, we perhaps could use him Sunday night as part of Cecil the Lion's land party. Call it a giant party. I'm sorry if my voice is a little raspy, fans. 3 straight days of Marty Jannetty, I almost took the knockout punch in the throat. It was a lot of talking over 3 days. We taped, my God, almost 30 hours worth of content.
But it's like being on a diet and me taking you to a buffet. Who's shoving the food in your face? So don't, fans, no excuses. He did what he did. He's happy he did it. And now you'll have great content. You'll be partying with Marty. You'll have all kinds of things from Marty Jannetty, who I respect personally. Great, great guy. Even though the GPS may go in a different direction once in a while, hang in there with Marty. You can't go wrong with that kind of party.
He is yet another individual looking forward to sampling the Fabo Pop. Every time he's here, he picks up the bottle. And
you got some right here.
Well, this is for the set. We don't want to ruin that.
Well, I'll tell the fans I've been getting more and more emails. I don't know how this is getting out, but more and more emails asking for autographed bottles of Fabo Pop.
Not just the Fabo Pop. They have to be autographed.
Autographed.
And when do you see the turnaround on this? I know you gave me a date at one point, but I don't want to state
I'm gonna try to. Hopefully things are back to normal at the company that produces my soda. I'll find out on March 1st. If they are, then I'll probably order maybe 15, 20 cases.
Maybe in time for WrestleMania. Fans can have WrestleMania parties with Fabo Pop.
Or you can have WrestleMania party with Fabo.
Now, where are you going to be for WrestleMania?
I'm certainly not going to be in Tampa, Florida.
Why is that?
I've not been asked to go.
You don't need to be asked to go. That's like Vince saying no one invited me to WrestleMania.
Well,
what can I say? I run the show.
Haven't been asked.
If you were asked, would you go? Would you feel comfortable enough?
I probably would definitely go. I think that you made a statement earlier about your contact within the web of WWE about the main event of Cena versus Roman Reigns.
You can flush that one down the toilet.
I don't see it happening.
No, definitely not. Not happening now. No. But as noted,
I don't see Cena at WrestleMania at all.
When we had that conversation, that was what they were discussing internally.
Yeah.
See, and you know, there's a lot of imbeciles on the internet, but there are people that try and put forth information as they know it to be to try to put, I guess you'd call wrestling journalism out there. And if they put that statement out there that week, I don't think that ever hit the internet or anything, but that would have been a factual statement because if they said it was solidified, no. But if they said it is being discussed within WWE, John Cena and Roman Reigns, that would have been a factual statement at the time.
Well, I still stand on what I said before. Reigns doesn't need Cena to go over. He's doing very well. Him and Paul Heyman are doing very well right now.
Well, we're going to have an episode themed towards that within the next week or two.
Okay, so good. I'll be looking forward to that.
We're talking a little AEW Dynamite, Johnny.
I'm telling you, forget the Shaq deal. Shaq plays great basketball. I've seen him in the WrestleMania. I've seen him in the ring before. All I know is he's a giant. I guess the easiest way to beat a giant is you take him off his feet. So Cody distracts. In comes the young lady. Right over the back. Shaq's down. Very easy to take the giant down. Bang, bang, bang. Maybe a chair across the back. He's down. He's out. 1, 2, 3.
Do you think
disqualification?
Do you think one of the ladies gets the pinfall just to avoid having one of the men lose?
Very real possibility. Or it could be a double pin.
Interesting enough. All right, Johnny, what are your thoughts on AEW really almost turning into a tree with many branches right now, with all the different wrestling relationships they're beginning to develop and present on Dynamite on Wednesday night? You have Impact Wrestling with Don Callis coming down, an executive with the former TNA, which I think he's been an exceptional mouthpiece for Kenny Omega, who needs it.
He does, yes.
And now you have an involvement in New Japan Pro Wrestling. Kenta, the former Hideo Itami in NXT, who's back in the main event scene in New Japan, has recently joined the AEW roster as well. I mean, that's, you know, I hate to say it, but there are a few talents in AEW, I think, that have been utilized better than they ever were under the auspices of a WWE brand. And I think Kenta, one of the world-class, other than size maybe, certainly one of the world-class athletes in the sport, a little on the smaller side, but what a coup for AEW to, you know, just, we'll take Gallows and Anderson this week from Impact. We'll take Kenta from New Japan this week, and freshens the show up.
Well, that's what Tony Khan was saying. You never know who's coming. You know, and stop that. All I'm going to say is, get him off TV. Tony.
Johnny, I don't think he's only been on more than once or twice.
There's a couple of those commercials. It doesn't do
But those are online things, are they not?
No, on TV.
With him and Tony Schiavone.
Yeah.
I come across them on social media.
No, they're on TV. They're live on TV.
My eyes must drift
somewhere else. You must not be watching the program then.
Oh, no, I
People
do
like
every
you
week.
fall asleep, You're partying too much with Jannetty.
Too much with Marty, yeah.
Anyway, my whole thing is I think that they're on the right track because what they're doing is they're mixing it up. They're bringing the fans professional wrestling. I would not be surprised to see Lucha Libre next.
A little AAA action, maybe.
Yep, I think that would round that right out.
Well, I think I don't really follow the Mexican scene as much as I do the United States, but I think Kenny Omega was the AAA champion at one point in the not so distant future, but maybe that'll open the door.
He's a great athlete, Kenny Omega. You watch that guy work, I'm amazed what that guy does in the ring. Amazed. As is Cody Rhodes. They got a lot of great talent.
Oh, yeah. I said, they have usually 1 or 2 segments or matches each week that are first class.
Yep.
And then sometimes there are other parts of the shows where I can't believe it's on television.
Well,
I don't understand.
Look at WWE, my friend. Well, all I'm going to tell you is, you can't knock one without knocking the other.
At least other than a handful of women, they're all high-quality, first-class professional wrestlers in WWE. There's some guys in AEW that they pull from the indie scene that are as green as grass in the middle of May. You know what I mean? I don't understand the concept of I don't know if you've ever watched it. I have not. They have their quote-unquote B show called AEW Dark. It's online.
It.
Oh, you have?
I watched.
On Tuesday nights.
Yep.
And it's sometimes 14, 15, 16 matches.
Yep. It's
that loses me.
It's a poor man's NXT. That's all I'm going to tell you.
All right.
It doesn't work. I'll be right up front with you.
Is it too long?
You just go, wow, hold on. And then you're absolutely right. You sit back and you go, why? Why is he in the ring? Why is she doing this in the ring? It makes absolutely no sense. I think what they're trying to do is grow too fast. So you got to, they've already crawled. Now the walking stages. I think another couple of miles on the walk. Then maybe we kind of step it up a little bit so we get a trot. But they're trying to go bang all the way. I think if they just slow it down a little bit, be a little more selective in who they put, where they put them, I think they're going to have a good deal. They could compete against NXT if they did it the right way.
Well, they've been beating NXT in the television ratings more often than not. So, and also on the flip side, AEW Dynamite is the A brand of AEW. NXT is the C brand of WWE. So it's not like you're taking out Raw or SmackDown, but who knows what could happen in a year from now.
I'll tell you, the fans are, everybody thought, and we said this before, and I said it, I was reading when the AEW started, 90 days, see you later, Vince, get the checkbook out, buy them, you'll have a conglomerate, you'll own it all, and guess what? Fooled you. They fooled you. They're still there, and they're getting bigger, and they're getting better, because they're offering a product that people really get interested in. Some of their storylines I watch it, I watch Raw, I watch SmackDown, I really want to be involved in what they're doing. Whereas in WWE, SmackDown, or Raw, how do you get into a 2-week or 3-week storyline? It's over, it's done, it's finished.
And sometimes not really all that interesting to begin with. Do you think Tony Khan's invitation to WWE will be taken up? When he said the WWE was more than welcome to come to Daly's place in Jacksonville, Florida.
Hell will freeze over first before...
Well, it's been a cold week.
It's got to be a lot colder. I cannot ever see that happening. I really can't.
Neither can I.
No.
Do you think it would be good for wrestling if it ever did?
I think if Vince and Khan could pull it off as not enemies, but as business people, and do that Monday Night War thing again, the ratings for both would blow through the roof.
You think that could generate new eyeballs?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. There again, that's brain saying, whoa, money. There's money to be made there. But no, I'll stand on my ground and say, if WWE ever got no.
WWE has so many irons in the fire. My God.
That's like Moniz becoming the next vice president. That's not happening.
Or Margot.
Margot, absolutely. Miz has got a lot of pull.
Well, and she wants to do a little pulling, from what I understand.
Well, she talks about you, obviously, all the time. I talk to her. That Dan Mirade, he's quite the fellow, you know, I have to see him. Well,
I have one fan, Johnny, on here. I think a lovely lady named June McGowan. She always compliments how handsome I am during the live premieres. I don't know much about June. I don't know where she's from. She usually just leaves 1 or 2 comments and that's it. But, you know, don't let Linda find out, please. She'll crazy glue my wallet to her hip.
This is going to be on YouTube, so.
Yes.
Linda McGowan.
No, June McGowan.
June McGowan?
Yes.
June, do me a favor. Next time you send out a shout, show a picture.
I don't know if you can.
Was she on?
Well, she takes part in the live premiere.
Of course she can.
Well, she types in the premiere box.
Yeah, that's fine. Why not?
But I don't think you can send a picture in it.
You should be able to.
Howard, can you send a picture in the premieres? I need technical expertise.
No, you can't.
Thank you, Howard.
Why?
Because that could lead to people giving out not nice pictures.
Well, remember what you went through the night of the Royal Rumble?
Oh, that kid was just, that was all made up, I'm telling you. Did you go through that and see it? You should, because...
You know what? I'm going to tell you why that happened when we're done. It'll probably make you feel better about it, and there's a little bit of logic as to how it happened, not that it happened.
Anyway, moving right along.
You mentioned gimmick matches, Johnny. TNA, wow. No. AEW, not only are they preparing for their monster-sized Dynamite, no pun intended, with Shaq on March the 3rd, but that Sunday they have their next big pay-per-view offering. The first time, I believe the first time at least, they have gone the route of doing it on a Sunday, which I hate, because one thing I really loved about AEW is that, on par with how UFC does things, you know, as opposed to doing it on family night on Sunday, AEW's pay-per-views were structured more towards the adult male. Well, even though I don't know if we should be having group gatherings, but along the lines of that. It was set up for more, again, I feel, towards the adult male to want to sit down and check something out like that, and maybe socially distance with a few friends if we want to be PC. I'm not sure if it has something to do with the boxing or a UFC pay-per-view offering that same weekend, but they decided to go the route of a Sunday night. And I have to say, I don't like it, Johnny. I like that AEW is different enough than WWE to go the route of doing it on the Saturday night. NXT, I thought NXT takeovers were great when they were on Saturday. Maybe not bundled together with one of the major WWE pay-per-views and having to have 2 pay-per-views the same weekend.
Yep.
Now that NXT pay-per-views are standalone, those are on Sundays. I like the idea of the Saturday. Is it just me, or is there something to it?
No, I think there's a little bit of magic on Saturday nights. It's, you know, it's that, I remember when I was a kid and still am a kid, Saturday night was the thing. Professional wrestling is on, the pay-per-views. The pay-per-views during the day, if you remember, a lot of those.
In the early days, yeah, some of the WrestleManias would start at 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yep. And so Saturday night is...
Elton John said Saturday night's the night to fight, or something like that, didn't he?
All I know is that...
And I'm sure Elton's done some wrestling.
Another story for another time. But my whole thing is that Saturday night traditionally was Saturday night boxing, Saturday night wrestling, so that really makes a lot of sense to me.
Saturday night's main event on NBC
in the
80s?
Sunday night thing, you know, you're up till 11:30, 11:45. You got to get up the next morning and go to work. Even if you work out at home, you got to be online and get going. So I'm really not a fan of Sundays. Saturdays I really like. Fridays or Saturdays are good.
I think Friday is a little tough to pull off because in traditional life, most people work on Friday.
Yep.
I think Saturday's the one perfect day of the week where you're not rushing from it.
Yeah, you can
plan
it.
In theory, you're not rushing from everywhere, and unless you're going to church early on Sunday morning, you don't have to really get up too early the next morning. It's the perfect combination. And I think that's part of the reason why UFC found so much pay-per-view success. It was the best night of the week to get a group of, 15, 20 friends together and all chip in a little money, order some pizzas or some chicken wings and have some drinks and have some fun together. And now I think AEW, at least for this one offering, took a little of that magic away. But I guess at the end of the day, it'll be what did it draw on pay-per-view?
There you go. That's
the
the
most
name of the game.
Thing, right?
Name of the game.
But I know if I was an actual paying customer, I would much prefer to see it on Saturday than Sunday. But we look forward to trying to present the pay-per-view watch along here at the studio on Sunday night, March the 7th. Johnny, you mentioned gimmick matches. One of the main events for this show, I don't know if you're familiar with it, but it'll be John Moxley, an individual who I feel has done wonders in that company compared to what he was doing with his prepared, over-prepared, produced, boring promos in WWE, and what I feel is some very realistic style verbal in AEW. John Moxley will take on Kenny Omega, the AEW World Champion, not in just a championship encounter, but in a landmine match, similar to those exploding landmine matches in Japan from the early 90s that Cactus Jack and Terry Funk would partake in with Oneida and the FMW and IWA wrestling groups. I think if you're going to do it, you have to do it outside because of the smoke, but a real danger, I think, to both men.
Well, first of all, they're not using real landmines.
But what's going to make the explosives go off?
It's pretty easy. A little black powder, a little smoke. Looks really good when you hit it. They'll rig a trap so that the grass or whatever will go up in the air. It'll look like a landmine. You do not think for one moment, and you know what? I've been in a lot of matches, done a lot of things. But, you know, special effects are wonderful things. And you don't think for 1 minute they're not going to borrow the special effects from the movies and put those into a landmine match. Because I'll tell you this. Having had some friends in Vietnam that hit those things and their legs are gone, so it's just not going to work.
Have you ever seen any of those matches in Japan with Cactus and Funk? And I'll say this, for what they may lack in wrestling, for the first couple of times you see them, they are very visually impressive. And that barbed wire certainly is, when you see it digging into the skin, that's a rough night at the office. They deserve a nice, healthy payday for this.
I've been involved in barbed wire matches, managing.
Oh, all right.
I've been involved managing in staple matches. How these idiots take staples and drive them into their foreheads, it's beyond me. Thumbtacks. You got to be crazy to do this stuff. And now you're going to do this landmine match. First of all, I will say this. I can't wait to see that match.
You do want to see it.
You've got two of the best. Kenny Omega, you know, what have I just said? Tremendous. John Moxley, since he's been out of the fold on the other promotion, he's been allowed to do what he wants, when he wants, basically, and you can see a difference in the whole individual.
It's unbelievable what they've brought out of him.
You see? But it was there all the time. It's just it was being held back for whatever reason. I mean, when you have a star like this, and he's got that type of capability, Vince, and it can't be Vince because Vince will usually let you run. So, he usually will. If the potential is there and he thinks that it makes sense, then it's a go, unless he doesn't want to push it.
So much more interesting than what Seth Rollins is doing back on SmackDown again as the Messiah.
Oh, please.
I mean, just, you know, Ambrose just feels gritty. Like you're seeing someone that wants to go in there and have a fight. You know what I mean? As opposed to the atypical WWE sports entertainer. And I'm certainly not going to say anything negative about Roman Reigns, who I think is probably the best in the world right now. But what Ambrose is doing for Ambrose, or Moxley, is top notch. WWE really missed the boat on that man.
Second it, right here.
Absolutely. Another one, even though I wouldn't exactly call him an AEW main eventer, Lance Archer, a guy that spent a lot of time in TNA. He was in the WWE system. It might have been ECW during that brand. But now you have it managed by Jake the Snake Roberts. You have what is a very rarity in the business this day, 6'6", 6'7" guy. Why is he in that company and not WWE? Another one they really missed the boat on.
I think, and it's just me, you've got a lot of people involved in WWE now. Before it was one man with a great body of wrestlers, God rest his soul, the Pat Pattersons, the Briscoes, Arn Anderson, Michael Hayes. You've got people giving advice. Now, not taking anything away from Paul Levesque, from Triple H. You've got Shane involved, I guess. You've got Stephanie involved. She's supposed to be more on the woman's side, but we'll see. Vince is slowly taking a little less involvement. But what you are seeing WWE do is more and more business deals.
Big business
and
deals.
I can only say this. I don't know what it is to have that kind of money, probably never will.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
When you build an empire like they're building, you build it to sell.
Really?
You build it to sell. And I can tell you this. I would think right now, with what they just did, the WWE has got to be worth billions to an investor.
You're referring to Peacock.
Yep.
Another $1 billion deal.
What Vince has just put together, if he would have put that on the market right now, not that they have to worry about anything for the rest of their lives now, the grandkids wouldn't have to worry about anything for the rest of their lives.
Their grandkids.
That's right.
The
product right now is worth trillions.
Do you think that, I don't know about trillions.
Oh, let's be real. Throw a couple more.
Do you think the Khans might be interested in buying it? Where they have much greater net worth than the McMahons. Wouldn't that be interesting? If Tony Khan came to the table to buy it.
I'm not sure, but that hasn't been broached. And Vince obviously is saying no, because it's not to the point where he's ready to part, ready to let go. People can say he's involved less and less. I can't ever believe that Vince McMahon will never not be involved in that business. Maybe when Vince finally says, I've had enough, that's when Paul, Stephanie, and Shane will decide it's time to get out of this. And they'll come out with billions. Seriously. The thing is a gold mine.
Well, what I think the best part about that deal with Peacock was they didn't sell it. They just licensed it for 5 years. So that's still,
there you go.
At the end of the day, it's still going to be theirs.
There you go.
You know what I mean? All right, as we wrap up AEW, Johnny, one that came across the email feed, so to speak, your thoughts on -1. I have some strong thoughts on
Tony
-1.
Atlas, -1?
No, I'm talking about the masked son of Brody Lee, the 8-year-old, that I thought putting him on TV once risked looking like exploitation, but the son is a monster wrestling fan, loves the business, was very happy to be here, there I should say, maybe soothed the soul a little bit as far as what was going on in his reality. The great folks at AEW, a group of about 10 of them took him to Disney World for his birthday. They have extended to him a legally binding contract that when he turns 18, he can have a job with the company if he wants to. But now you're probably approaching the 5th or 6th -1 wrestling segment on an adult wrestling show. And I don't know at what point the fans, or just if the general public comes across it, looks down upon what I'm sure is great intentions to continue to put an 8-year-old on a wrestling television show. I think it's a little much at this point.
Well, there's a couple of things that kind of bother me. And I don't mean in a bad way, but one, when you're 18, we'll give you a contract. You've got to be around 10 more years.
Okay, fair enough.
So AEW may not be around in 10 years. I'm sure if somebody came to Tony Khan and offered enough money, he'd sell AEW just like Vince McMahon. If it's enough, and what's my friend Ted always say? Everybody's got a price. So I would look at it that way. I would think that what they're doing now is oversaturation. Once or twice with this young fellow, I really was glad to see that. Having met the gentleman himself when he was with us and chatted with him, I think it's a great tribute. But there reaches a point where enough is enough, because the involvement level that he can get into is so little at this point. Where's the value? I think you've done what you need to do. Now it's either time to phase it out or come down with a serious storyline. I mean, seriously.
No, I would not put an 8-year-old in a story.
But it's not going to happen. That's what I'm saying. You see what I'm saying?
Well, and again, I don't want to sound like the Grinch.
You are.
Never. Because you know how I am when it comes to, kids that go through difficulties in life with all the charity work that we do. I think there's a million different ways they can do nice things for that kid. I think they could open up the ring to him on an off day. I think they could open up the ring to him maybe after the shows. I think they could, continue to bring the family to the live events. I don't know if the mother is interested in working, but maybe have her work with the company
Like
and have the kids
Guerrero.
with them. There's a million ways they can have them around the AEW family that doesn't include using an 8-year-old child as part of a wrestling storyline on a pro wrestling TV show.
It only makes sense if it works, and it doesn't work. It doesn't work. I'll be honest with you.
All right.
So my thought is time to phase it out, time to bring, as you say, the family in if they need be, if they want to be part of that. And it may be part of a psychological thing that this young man needs to grieve in his own way.
Sure, and like I said, I think there's a lot of different ways they could do that.
Yep.
And
I don't think there's a need to do it.
Yeah.
I don't think it has a place right now in the
on
story.
TV. Like I said, off TV, I mean, they threw birthday parties for him, as I noted. He was part of their New Year's Eve celebration. I think those are very kind things to do for someone that
generous
needs it.
and kind.
But putting him on the TV show isn't the way to, in my opinion.
No,
One
once or
man's
twice.
opinion.
Once or twice. I agree with you. No, I'm sorry. Sorry, fans. I have to agree with them this time.
Wow. Is it a full moon?
No,
I can't say.
really. No, no.
All right, wrestling fans, what do you think about all the AEW chatter we've had tonight? If you are watching the Friday night premiere after SmackDown, which might be just a little bit more interesting than SmackDown, unless Roman had a good week, let us know what you think in the premiere box to our right. The Super Chat button is always open for business to help us keep the lights on. We had a light blowout in the middle of the show with Marty over the weekend that needs to be prepared. As always, we mentioned the coronavirus has killed the nightlife for the rockin' Marty Jannetty and those types of folks. Our world-class eBay store is open 24/7. You can add great merchandise, much of which you can see right here on this beautiful set, and add it to your wrestling man cave, give us a gift. I mean, Johnny, we're both Christmas people. It's never too early to start, I guess, if you really see something you like for someone you love, right?
Get it now, because you know what? If it was like the PlayStation 5, you wait too long, you won't get it. By the way, good news, restock is already out for Target, Amazon, where else? GameStop.
They're accessible now?
They'll be accessible, I believe, in the middle of March.
Still, but even as we're taping this, not yet. Wow. That really was a popular thing.
I'm glad they fixed the glitches. That'll be
I'm
good.
just glad Baby Mirade got his, or it would have been...
No, you know what?
I would have had a knot in my stomach on Christmas.
But you know what? I think it's time parents grow a pair and learn how to say no. Instead of paying $800, $1,500, and $2,000.
I didn't do that.
No, but you know what? It's time.
I couldn't have done that.
But it's time people say no.
You're not necessarily wrong, but to me, Christmas is the one day of the year where you try and make a little
I raised 5 kids.
magic.
And I'm going to tell you this.
Yeah.
You can make a lot of magic without doing the things that these people or you did. And I'm not knocking you. You did what you had to do to make everybody happy. But you know what?
I just got lucky enough to find a bundle at the regular retail price. That's all I did.
That's fine. That's good. That's fine. But still, if you couldn't have, I wouldn't have gone out of my way. It's better
I wouldn't have
that
spent...
people need to understand, especially the young people today, because everything is handed to them. So why don't you go without a little bit? Why don't you, people are saying, I can't afford this, I can't afford that, yet they were paying $2,500 on eBay.
Wow.
Yeah, please,
The money
don't
that
get me
some
started
people
on
made
this.
off of that.
Don't get me started on
Well,
this.
I know Margot wanted to make a little Christmas magic with you, but that's a different story for a different time. And again, folks, before we go, don't forget, if you want more, geez, I'm all hiccups, I have no voice. Marty Jannetty, what did he do to me?
Bring Tony Atlas back. Me and Tony will do a great show for you.
You know what? That would be perfect. I could direct. Howard could instruct me what to do, and you and Tony could do the show.
We would
without
have,
me.
what a hell of a show that would be.
So it would be the King Kong and Godzilla of personality.
Me, Marty, and Tony.
I don't know about that. Tony he doesn't want much to do with Marty. And then don't forget, fans, if you want more of us, head on over to the Patreon where you get early ad-free access to all 4 of our in-studio talk shows each week without the ads, no nothing. You get the acclaimed Studio Shoot interview DVD library that's been seen online by millions, and by millions more on The Howard Stern Show. You get Patreon exclusive access, and what really is important to me, you help keep professional wrestling legends working. So we continue to bring more great veterans and legends into the studio, folks that now are going on a year with almost no independent wrestling shows, with almost no autograph signings, with almost no conventions, which is just killing their income. You heard Tony Atlas on this program. His royalty check from WWE for the year 2020 was $206. If you're a Major League Baseball player and you played 10 years and you're part of the MLB union, you get $250,000 a year. Keep that in mind. Head on over to patreon.com/Boston Wrestling for complete details for one of the most fabulous, finest individuals you'll ever come across. He's John Cena Sr. I'm losing it this week, folks. I had too much Marty. I'm Dan Mirade. We'll see you this Tuesday night for Wrestling Insiders at Your House with Tony. This gentleman will be back with us next Friday after SmackDown. We'll see you then. Good night.
The World Wrestling Federation was live at Northlands Coliseum in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, Sunday, February the 26th, 1989. Same birthday as Boston Wrestling Junior Ambassador Brandon Jay. In the opening contest, the Blue Blazer beat Nikolai Volkov. Hercules drew Mr. Perfect. The Bushwhackers with the win over the Rougeau brothers. Bret Hitman Hart defeated the Honky Tonk Man. Big John Studd battled Akeem to a time-limit draw. And in the main event, the Macho Man, Randy Savage, the WWF World Heavyweight Champion, retained the title over Bad News Brown via disqualification. If you were in Edmonton live, share your memories in the comment section below. Use the links in the description box to keep Wrestling Legends working in our eBay store and on our acclaimed Patreon streaming service so we can bring you more interactive superstar shoot interviews to relive the good old days of professional wrestling. Check it out. Boston Wrestling Sports in the MWF explodes into a new year with professional wrestling content galore and need you to join our family. Every Tuesday night at 10 p.m. after our Monday Night Raw review, it's Wrestling Insiders at Your House with WWE Hall of Famer Mr. USA Tony Atlas. Wednesday nights at 10 p.m. after NXT and AEW, join rotating legends on Wrestling Insiders Special Edition. Every Thursday night at 10 p.m. after our NXT and Dynamite review, it's Marty Jannetty's no-holds-barred sex, drugs, and rock and roll journey on Wrestling Insiders Party with Marty. Friday night after SmackDown, don't miss John Cena Sr.'s Wrestling Insiders Fabulous Fridays. Plus, look for classic clips, history videos, bonus live episodes, pay-per-view, watch-alongs, and more. For less than a cup of coffee at Starbucks, get early ad-free access to our Wrestling Insider talk shows, our acclaimed studio shoot interview DVD library, and help keep wrestling legends working during the worst of times. Join our growing family at patreon.com/Boston Wrestling. Expect the unexpected in 2021.
All right, Marty, another tremendous episode with John Cena Sr., unique perspective, a man that... How many second-generation people break into the business after their sons?
You know, there's well, for me, you know, in 30 years, I've seen
You've seen it a few times?
Yeah.
What I find most interesting is that a lot of fans, they remember that Johnny, he wrestled Randy Orton in the main event of Monday Night Raw back in 2007. But back in the 70s, he actually promoted a few WWF spot shows.
Senior wrestled on main event?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Cena and Randy Orton on Raw, yeah. They did an angle where John Jr. was handcuffed to the bottom rope, and Johnny had to wrestle Randy Orton. Yeah, it was. They had a good little feud, I tell you this.
It sounds like it.
When they started the program. It was in Boston. It was the day after SummerSlam '07. I think it was John and Booker T wrestling, and Randy Orton, who he was feuding with, ran out. And, you know, John was done. You know how he does that punt kick?
Yeah, yeah.
He was getting ready to punt.
Pretty good, too.
He was getting ready to punt John, but he said no, and he slid out of the ring almost like a snake.
Well, he was going to do that with Flair or somebody recent, too, wouldn't he?
He's been punting everybody lately.
Yeah, I know.
But he went over to Johnny Cena Sr., who was sitting in the front row. He flipped him over the barricade, and he punted him in the head, and I mean, he...
You heard it?
Johnny needed stitches.
For real?
Yeah.
He got him?
He got him good. You
know, sometimes you sacrifice.
You do. But then on the next pay-per-view, it was John and Orton, and again, Senior was in the front row. And you know how John does that finisher? I think it's called the STFU when he puts him in the lock?
Yep.
The submission hold? Yep. He had Johnny come over the barricade, and Johnny ran and he punted Orton in the head.
He got him back?
And then that's what led to
we call that a receipt.
Then the next night on Raw, they did the main event where John was handcuffed to the bottom rope, and it was John Cena Sr. against Randy.
Yeah.
And it was going to go longer. They were going to try and involve Bob Orton.
That was 2007, you said?
2007.
Yeah, back then I was heavy into drugs. I missed it.
Oh.
Well, thank God I cleaned up.
It is. It's a very good thing. But then I believe Orton got injured. Oh, no, John got injured.
Did he?
That's right. John got injured because he did the surprise return at Royal
That's
Rumble
like
2008.
14 years ago already.
So they had to cut
Damn.
the program short, but it was a good little feud.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
And for Johnny, you know, there's a guy who back in the 70s, before he had kids, his big dream was to get involved in wrestling. He promoted some WWF
See, that's the only thing I
spot
knew he
shows.
did. I didn't know he actually wrestled.
Yeah, he did. See, beyond the independent stuff, he's wrestled on Raw. He did an angle where Edge and Lita went to their home once and they kicked
You
the
put
shit out
vodka
of
in
him.
that.
What's that?
You put vodka in that.
Yeah, I wish.
Damn it.
I wish.
Well, who brought
All right,
that?
wrestling
Who brought
fans.
that to me?
Glantz. You know what, Glantz? I don't know where you are right now, Glantz.
Yeah, you getting cussed out again.
Oh, we were shooting, brother.
I wasn't.
What I don't understand is, here it is, I like these people. You know,
Boss is great.
And I generally hate people. I'm not the world's biggest people person.
What's wrong with you?
But there's a lot wrong with me. But I genuinely like Glantz. He's had a lot of creative
He's a good
ideas.
dude. I don't know why you messing with him.
And then he just vanishes like a thief in the night.
Yeah, you know what? I used to do that when I was heavy into the drugs.
Did you? Well, I don't think Glantz is doing that.
You don't think so?
No. I don't think that's his gimmick. But and then you have your friend Matt Daddy and his salmon pants.
Leave Matt. I love Matt, man.
I tell you, another
Matt
one
Daddy,
that I like
miss
an
you,
awful
brother.
lot. But you know what? Sometimes you got to realize that this is a business, and you know Marty more than anyone. It's a business.
Did you say Marty?
Marty. There's dedication and there's great sacrifice that goes into it. Wrestling was here long before us.
Yeah, but I think Matt.
Wrestling will be here
Matt,
long after us.
I told you what Matt said.
What's that? Oh, he
Let
wanted.
him run with it. You don't trust
He
him.
wanted to be the captain of the ship.
Well, maybe, but he just
right.
he didn't. He felt like you wouldn't trust him.
Well, you know what? I'm going to reach out to him about that.
Good.
Maybe I'm glad you
You
mentioned
want me to
that.
text him? Where's my? You got my phone again.
I
don't you?
got it. So don't even start with the phone.
Where is it? Where is it?
It's right there.
Ah, you got my phone again, damn it.
It is probably right now just past 2 a.m. We thank you for joining
2
us.
2 a.m.?
On the these go for about 3 or 4 hours. These are short. We thank you for joining us.
And you wonder why you got no viewers.
If you're joining us on the Super Chat, don't forget that helps us keep the lights on again. The eBay store is open 24/7.
Yeah, one day y'all forgotten when the lights went out.
Remember that SummerSlam
Yeah, we had
weekend?
to go to the hotel somewhere.
Literally, one time the lights did go out because you guys didn't super chat, I guess. No, it was a thunderstorm the night of SummerSlam.
Yeah, it was bad weather.
It was the night of SummerSlam,
Real bad.
yeah. Yeah, that was some,
Oh, it was
that was some
SummerSlam, wasn't it?
thunder. But anyway, the eBay store is open, and again, more than anything, join our family at patreon.com/Boston Wrestling. You get early ad-free access to all the talk shows. You get access to our acclaimed studio shoot interview DVDs that they've been seen by millions of people online, they've been millions, and they've been seen by millions more on the Howard Stern Show. I mean, you're talking about some top-notch crazy.
Yeah,
You get
Bill
some
Howard, yeah.
exclusive Patreon content, and again, you help keep the wrestling legends working, all for less than a cup of coffee at Starbucks. So for my friend Marty Jannetty,
And wear your mask if you get near Joe Biden, because
there
he's
you
got
go.
some breath.
There you go. I'm Dan Mirade.
MJ in the house.
Marty will be back Thursday night at 10. We'll be back with all of our regular talk shows this week, and hopefully we have a little bit of fun again late night next Saturday night on Wrestling Insiders Week in Review. Until we speak again, folks, you and yours, be well, stay healthy. Good night.
The World Wrestling Federation was live at the Cumberland County Civic Center in Portland, Maine, Thursday, February the 28th, 1991. In the opening contest, the Barbarian beat Coco Beware. Texas Tornado, Kerry Von Erich with the win over $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase. Superfly, Jimmy Snuka defeated the Duke of Dorchester, Pete Doherty. Hacksaw, Jim Duggan victorious over General Adnan. The Legion of Doom beat the Nasty Boys. Greg the Hammer Valentine with the win over Dino Bravo. The Rockers defeated the Orient Express. And in the main event, Jake the Snake Roberts defeated Earthquake, who replaced Rick Martel inside a steel cage. If you were in Portland live, share your memories in the comment section below. Use the links in the description box to keep wrestling legends working in our eBay store and on our acclaimed Patreon streaming service so we can bring you more interactive superstar shoot interviews to relive the good old days of professional wrestling. Check it out. Boston wrestling sports in the MWF explodes into a new year with professional wrestling content galore and need you to join our family. Every Tuesday night at 10 p.m. after our Monday Night Raw review, it's Wrestling Insiders at your house with WWE Hall of Famer Mr. USA Tony Atlas. Wednesday nights at 10 p.m. after NXT and AEW, join rotating legends on Wrestling Insider's Special Edition. Every Thursday night at 10 p.m. after our NXT and Dynamite review, it's Marty Jannetty's No Holds Barred Sex, Drugs, and Rock and Roll journey on Wrestling Insider's Party with Marty. Friday night after SmackDown, don't miss John Cena Sr.'s Wrestling Insider's Fabulous Fridays. Plus, look for classic clips, history videos, bonus live episodes, pay-per-view watch-alongs, and more. For less than a cup of coffee at Starbucks, get early ad-free access to our Wrestling Insider talk shows, our acclaimed studio shoot interview DVD library, and help keep wrestling legends working during the worst of times. Join our growing family at patreon.com/Boston Wrestling. Expect the unexpected in 2021.